Hey folks, welcome to Chris White Africa on the Indaba Africa channel. It is Monday, the 14th of December, 2020. We are awaiting the arrival of President Cyril Ramaphosa of South Africa to tell us what he has in store for folks coming up for the Christmas holidays. Will he fill your stockings with Christmas cheer, or will it be a salty cracks Christmas? Will you get coal, or will you get treats in your stockings this Christmas? Good evening, Olive. Welcome, everybody. Corlia S. I started just a slight bit early, folks. So for the early birds, you get rewarded by being here early. If you can't see what it says up the top, those two text things are saying that I will carry Ramaphosa when he goes live. So that's what the blue one is. As soon as he goes live, we'll carry him. That's that one there. And then the other one says, hit the subscription button, folks. Boy, we're on a salty cracks. We are falling apart on subscriptions here where something strange is going on, but please feel free to subscribe to Chris White Africa. We welcome your subscription. And hey, Robin, Emil, Jan, Oberhodze, Corlia, Olive, I have a feeling I'm not going to get new subscribers today. That's kind of a shame. Sometimes these work out pretty well for new subscribers. But anyway, folks, not a good evening, but hi, everyone. Sorry to hear that, Robin. I hope things aren't going bad. But anyway, folks, thanks for tuning in. You're watching Chris White Africa on the Indaba Africa channel. Shortly, we'll have President Cyril Ramaphosa appearing on the channel. We'll be bringing that feed to you live. For those who've missed it today, we've had 2 streams already today. Wow, it's already been a long day, and I'm just getting started here, folks. Let's see. We start off the day. Olive says, I want my money back 2021. Well, get in line, Olive. I want my money back. I want my mom back. I want lots of things back. We've had a lot taken from us this year, folks, and would love to get a lot of it back. But welcome into the stream. We're about 15 minutes away from the purported start time for President Ramaphosa's address to South Africa. What do you think is going to happen, folks? What do you think is going to happen? Do you think it's going to be good stuff? Do you think it's going to be bad stuff? I have a suspicion it's not going to be anything that anybody wants to hear. Oh, Olive says, sorry about your loss. Well, thank you so much, Olive. She passed away Monday, December 7th. But she went in good company. She died the same day that Chuck Yeager died. So there you go. Tough day. The funeral's this Saturday in Ohio, and I'll be heading there. Good evening, Ginaldo. Welcome to you. Emil Therrett's message was retracted. I wonder why. There's some really strange stuff going on here with YouTube, folks. Did you all notice that YouTube was down today? Earlier today, YouTube was completely out globally. I was live streaming the Rugby World Cup pool draw, and in the midst of that, folks, I lost a whole bunch of subscribers, and not subscribers, but viewers. They just disappeared. I couldn't see that because my data feeding into my streaming software was not changing. It kept saying 46, 46, 46. I'm like, that's odd. 46 people come and go. It never stays the same like that. So it turns out, I looked at the stats afterwards. We discovered, I wasn't sure people were there. Maybe my stream was dead. So I said, is anybody still here? And people were like, yeah, we're still here. And then only to find out that all the Alphabet services were down at some point. Alphabet being Google, the parent company now, because Google changed its name to Alphabet and made the Google search engine a subsidiary. Welcome to Lynn. Email. A spelling mistake. You retract. Okay, well, lots of messages getting retracted. People aren't retracting, so worry about it. Sharon Roberts, good evening to you. Olive is back. Yeah, folks, you'll be able to chat in this stream if you want to. Some of the other more popular, better-known channels like Ronaldo Hollis is going to have thousands of people there, and the chat will just stream right off the chart. So if you want to get your comments or questions in here, you are welcome to do it on this channel. So welcome in, everybody. We're just minutes away. Ramaphosa now, remember, March 27th is when this all started, folks. March 27th. That's right, 27 March. So I'm not too good at counting, but let me just do the math. April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November. That's 8 months. We're now into December and halfway through December. By the way, folks, we're just 11 days away from Christmas. Ho, ho, ho. Merry Andre Jacobs, where have you been, my friend? My goodness, you've been absent. Where have you been, Andre? Wow. Wow, 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 wow. So welcome back to Andre Jacobs from China. So Andre, will you get the Chinese vaccine? Can you get it? Do they let foreigners get it in China? Jacques Vint is back. Carlos Stride. Wow, Carlo, I haven't seen you in a while either. Wow, wow, wow. But to my moderators, be careful, please, in this stream with just, canning people. Remember, profiles are being cloned, folks. Profiles are being cloned, so keep that in mind. So be careful there. So anyway, we're waiting for Ramaphosa to come up, just double checking to make sure. 11 minutes and 32 seconds now away from his start time. And Herman Ruz is with us again tonight. Welcome, Herman. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. By the way, Herman and I will be talking soon. The tobacco industry won its court case against Nkosazana Dlamini-Zuma. Did you know that? Has the press even addressed that? Are they covering that at all? There you go, Herman Ruz. Oh, ho, 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 ho. Merry Christmas. Thank you, Herman. Sapper's back once again. Wow, Mareka's here. What is going on? Okay, Mareka, you're just here because Roman isn't on. That's why you're here. Just kidding. Welcome, Mareka. Good to see you again. Wow, Boom Shakalaka's here, and I saw Boom on another channel, so welcome to all of you tuning over. It's a pleasure to have all these faces I recognize seeing you back again. Yeah, I'm the real Slim Shady. Don't cam me, says Online Optics. Will the real Slim Shady please stand up? Guilty as charged, Mareka. Yeah, no, it's cool. It's cool. I know, Roman's sexy. He's sexy, but he can't sport a beard like this, can he now? Can't do that. It's hey, welcome, Mareka. Barbara Schillinglaw, good to see you again. Corey Thompson is here. Welcome, folks. So this is my third stream of the day. It started at 6:20 this morning with the first stream on rugby, and then pushed through all the YouTube problems. Somehow I managed to keep my stream going when other people were cut off around the world who were streaming at that time. So that stream, then we just did Representative Dawn Kiefer from Pennsylvania's 92nd Legislative District. She's my representative. We had her on here. I think that was an epic stream. You know, I'm biased because I did the interview, but really enjoyed it. Some folks that are here now heard that. You'll learn a lot about the election, especially about the election in Pennsylvania, what has been happening here. If you're curious, you can watch that stream. That's 2 streams. This is the 3rd stream with Ramaphosa telling us what he's got in mind in just 9 minutes and 40 seconds, folks. Moira Janssen von Rendsburg is back. Andre says, if there's no vaccine for lefty communism, it won't take the COVID. I won't take it. Well said, Andre. Olive says, you cheer us up, so that's why we're here. Well, thanks, Olive. I'm glad you're here. I'm trying. Even my rants, do my rants cheer people up? Right. Well, the problem with people telling you if they're cloned, Erica, is the following. And let me put this out there, folks, for my moderators and for those on the channel. If you find someone using your avatar and your username and putting comments in and it's not you, what I ask you to do is you send me, if you're on the WhatsApp, if you're a member, and well, it shouldn't happen to members, but if you're in the Telegram group, send me a personal message and say, hey, listen, I was cloned today. I didn't say those things, okay? Send me that. If you just tell people here in the chat that you're not the clone, well, then the clones will say they're not the clone. I'm the real Slim Shady. I'm the real Slim Shady. You know, it's like that 1950 show. What was it? Where, you know, I'm Neil Armstrong, and you have 3 people come out. And nobody knows who the person actually is. Rainier Dutoy is back. Good to see Rainier. Freda Naud is back once again. Folks, we're building up. Got a good sized audience right now. Marilyn Brokenshaw is here too. Ernst is back. Good to see you again. Anyway, folks, we're down to a little over 8 minutes before Ramaphosa is set to address the nation. I don't know about you guys, but I'm looking at my stream. It's kind of fuzzy over here. What is going on? That's weird. It's very weird. Why are they doing that? Anyway, but it says my connection is quite strong. We're approaching 100. Yay! 100 people tuning into the stream. Really hoping to get 400 or 500 on the stream, but I don't think that's in the cards, folks. YouTube has been playing games with our subscription base. So what's he going to say? Well, he's going to say that we, the African National Congress, have done an amazing job responding to this crisis. Yes, I know that over half the cases, confirmed case of COVID in the entire continent, come from our tiny country of less than 60 million people out of a continent of 1.3 billion. We have half. But that's an accomplishment. We got more people sick than anybody else. So the ANC brought that to you. We also have a higher percentage of people killed in South Africa attributed to COVID-19 than anywhere else in the continent. So he's going to pat himself on the back for all the measures that the ANC took to protect South Africans and prevent the spread of the virus. That's number one. He's going to talk about gender-based violence, because he never talked about it before, and he's been put on the floor now, and people accusing him of not paying attention to the concerns of gender-based violence. But he will not attribute it to the genuine causes. He will not show any policy or plan or funding to actually deal with it, or anything to change the culture of violence in South Africa that leads to men abusing women. Mostly. Some women abuse men, but almost entirely men abusing women. He'll do nothing substantive. So it's all about gender-based violence. He will probably talk about transforming the economy, the moribund and non-existent South African economy. Chris Norvey says, good evening all. I'm not sure what Stockings Colonel is talking about. The only ones in South Africa either broken, stolen, complete, or in the dark. Good point. Wasn't me. Like the Bidens say, plausible deniability. Jacques Joubert is back once again. Good to see Jacques Joubert. The One is here all the way from Nigeria. Welcome, The One. Awesome that you have so much interest in South Africa. This is definitely a South Africa stream. Online Optics. There's Ashley. Dolph Yonka is back again. Eastern Cape, expect the worst from Ramaphosa. Yeah, I expect to see that the beaches in the Eastern Cape and in KZN will be shut down. Jacques Joubert will ask you a rugby question regarding the World Cup draw earlier today from the speech. Yeah, please smash the like button, folks. I am Spartacus. In regard to your writing on the screen, we'll carry Ramaphosa when he goes live. Okay, what about it? When he goes live. Gender-based violence is wrong. Done. Now, I said, move on. They don't care about violence against women and children. It's just political talk. It's just virtue signaling. That's all it is. Doesn't mean anything. No, it hasn't started yet. He's not set to start for 6 minutes, folks. It's at the top of the hour is when he's supposed to do it. Yes, lockdown is coming, most likely. That's what people are predicting, and I think that's a reasonable prediction of what Ramaphosa is going to tell us. It's going to tell us that it's your fault, South Africa. You are responsible. The ANC did everything humanly possible to ameliorate this situation, and you undermine people. At some point, eventually they're going to start accusing South Africans of treason for undermining the ANC because they spread the virus. You watch. That's coming, folks. Not today, but it's coming. The One says, it's my job as an African to know about my kin's problems. Well, there you go. Also like Africana culture and lore in the continent. Well, The One, I'm with you. And when people from Namibia attack me about, who are you? Why are you interested in Africa? What's your business? Because I'm a Homo sapien. And my people are 9 billion in total. And I care about what's happening with them. Yep. So, yeah, folks, my hands are on my face already. I have see one profile that might be getting cloned already. Yeah. So, and it's actually a moderator. So that's kind of scary if this clown has figured it out. So here we go. Israel introduced health passports. Really? I didn't see that, Trouble Stilskin. Good to see you again. Dr. Phil, good evening to you. Dr. Phil, I have a toothache, and I'm really bumhurt about all this stuff. By the way, we're down to 4 minutes and 4 minutes. That was ANC math. 4 minutes. No. That's 4. 4 minutes and just 12 seconds, folks, before Ramaphosa is supposed to come on. So we'll see if they go live. Yep. So let me, I can't even make this thing fit my full screen until it goes. So I have to wait till it starts. Anyway, John DeClerc is back. Good to see you again. Frida says, my mother passed away in July. We were limited to 50 people while the ANC had a funeral with over thousands. Freda, that's just so wrong. It's just so wrong. My apologies for that. My mother's funeral is Saturday, and trust me, there'll be more than 50 people there. And it's going to be a convoy. Big Pan, this here's a rubber duck. We got ourselves a convoy. That's right. Truck drivers will be honoring my mother. She was well known in the trucking industry in America and very well respected and did an awful lot for truckers. So they will be showing up en masse. At least that's the plan on Saturday. The weather might be a problem. Let's pull the tooth, says Dr. Phil. No! Typical ANC. You just want to take something from me. You're not getting my tooth, Dr. Phil. Whoa, folks, we just surged up to 153. Welcome to everybody who's joined the chat. We're going to be going live here shortly with President Ramaphosa set to announce and address the nation. That's in 3 minutes and 5 seconds, folks. Of course, we know he won't be on time. If he's on time, I'll just pass out. By the way, if you're tuning in and you have an issue with me commenting, as Ronaldo said on his stream earlier, you're probably in the wrong place. I will be commenting during Ramaphosa's speech, his comments. I'll be throwing quips, asking questions, making points. And that's kind of the purpose of this. That's how we make content for this. So it's not simply a chance to listen. How is the ear and tooth pain? Robin, it's still there. It's greatly diminished. If let's say it wasn't an 8, but let's say it was an 8, it's down to about a 3 or 4 now, which is pretty good. So what else we got here? Folks, we're down at 2 minutes and 25 seconds, but thank you for asking, Robin. Don't worry about it, Lynn. I might be mistaken about who the clone is, so that's why I didn't want to identify it. So all respect for your mom, says Here's Johnny. Well, thank you very much, Here's Johnny. I appreciate that. Boom Shakalaka says, that's awesome. They must all honk truck horns at the same time. Oh, I think they will. And they'll be driving down along the river, so it's going to get a lot of attention. And a truck driver will be carrying my mom's remains to the cemetery, so that's pretty cool. Actually, it's a truck driver. Well, Red, appreciate the offer there. Clove oil isn't the issue. I think I've got a bone issue in my jaw below there. No, it's not an abscess, so it's not toothache. I've been to the dentist. I have no cavity. Gott sei Dank. Thank God. You hear Assange is getting pardoned. What? I haven't heard that. I don't agree with that. Assange shouldn't be pardoned. Assange is a dangerous person, and states should have secrets, but not when they should be transparent. And I'll explain that another thing. That's an awesome send off for your mom. What was her impact on the trucking community? Quite a bit, actually. Last night we did a tribute show. We're down 1 minute and 17 seconds, folks. If he actually comes on, then I'll bring it on. But if he doesn't, then we'll just have to wait till he comes on. But my mother actually did a lot for truckers individually. She also did a lot to end the electronic logbook nonsense and try to change a whole bunch of other things. We're approaching 200 folks right now. That's pretty cool. I'm just looking to see. Wow, and Joe Emilio's got an audience too. He's got 47 watching him right there. So pretty cool for Joe. Excellent. Let me get back to where I was at here. So I'm trying to, hey, Probably Neanderthal's back. Audrey's here. Cookie Hall. I don't recognize Cookie. Welcome, Cookie. And losing one's mother must suck. Yeah, no, thanks, Olive. I appreciate it. The tribute last night from the truckers was pretty amazing. And I'm looking, we are supposed to be live now. So here we go. It says live, but there's nothing there. So yeah, I'm just waiting for it to come up. See? Yeah, nothing coming across yet. So Ramaphosa hasn't come on yet. We're just waiting for him. I've got the ENCA feed, folks. That's what I'll be using. So just waiting for that to come up. So this is what we currently have. Lisa Williams is hello from Cape Town. Wow, Lisa, welcome to you. Acid Zill is back. You have been missed. I saw you recently for the first time in a while. Good to see you back. Okay, so where the heck is this at? Give me a second here, folks. There we go. That's what I want. So there you go. Let me just turn off my camera. That's what we have right now. So as soon as he comes up, we'll get you going. But at the moment, that's actually live streaming. There's nothing there. So Ramaphosa has not made his appearance yet, folks. We're just waiting for it. Tian Swart is here. Dr. Phil says, I live in a seasonal town. My town just became very busy. They closed the beaches down. It's effed up. Yeah, if they do. Now it's our turn to join you, Chris, for a lockdown. Well, thank you, Vernon. I appreciate you joining me for the stream. Appreciate everybody tuning in right now. Charlotte Fundavest Toys and says hello. Hello, Charlotte. Good to see you again. Shelly Ashurst, welcome to Shelly. Yako Bester, I'm terrified of what's going to be said tonight. We struggle in the tourism industry and we just started picking up business again. Yako, you have, I think, just cause to be concerned about tonight. We'll see what happens. Typical South Africa live and nothing there. Like the hamster wheel is still going, but the hamster's dead. Clem Malinark says I didn't get a notification this stream. Well, I set it up a while ago, so I'm not surprised you didn't get it. Also, folks, if you're a subscriber to Chris White Africa, please look below the video and see if you're subscribed, because YouTube has been unsubscribing people. I know one person here who's been unsubscribed 7 times in the last couple of days by YouTube. It's a legitimate user, been following the channel forever, and YouTube unsubscribed him 7 times. It's just outrageous, folks. It's absolutely outrageous. So that's why we have the subscription button at the top. Feel free to become a subscriber to the channel, folks. But so far, everybody here, I think, is pretty much a subscriber. Tinis Vukin is here. Welcome. Hi, Tinis. How are you? Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Samorgify. What? Love your attitude, Chris. You rock. Well, thank you so much for that. On Durban Beach Road, people are walking around with no mask, including police. Yeah. Not surprised. Why would you need a mask if you're on a beach and you're nowhere near anybody? You don't just capture it out of thin air. You've lost 100 subscribers. Yeah, I have, Oliver. I've lost 100 subscribers in the last few days, and my subscription is not only stalled, but it is falling back to earth, which is unfortunate. There's been nothing here that's really... The only thing I've done of late that's upset anybody is I did that stream for the Rugby World Cup pool draw this morning, and we're still not getting anything from Cyril. What's going on here? Let me just double check. I'll check the SABC feed to make sure that we're not missing this, folks, but I don't think that he's up there, so let me just do this SABC and see if we got him. SABC. There we go, SABC. Let's just see what comes up, if they're there. Previewing. No, that's previewing. That's not actually doing it. So let's go to the channel and see if they've got it on. So, Africa time. West Africa time, for that matter. You got to get it right, guys. West Africa. Addresses nation, develops. Okay. He's not on. He's not on. Still waiting for Cyril. Anyway, so, folks, that's where we're at right now, waiting for Cyril Ramaphosa to make his appearance. I suspect he's going to be handing out some bad news. Listen, South Africa, you've all been naughty. You've all been naughty. You disobeyed the ANC. You didn't listen to us. We told you to stay at home, not to go outside your homes, to lose your jobs, to go hungry, to eat grass. We told you not to take those food parcels to the needy, and you're being punished for it now. You didn't listen, so you spread the virus. You're all culpable, South Africa. And now, President Ramaphosa will tell you your punishment. No beaches. No alcohol. Curfew, 18 hours a day. Good Lord. We will obey the great and powerful laws. Good Lord. 270. Wow, that's cool. We're jumping. Yeah, well, the one, I've had 5,700 people watch my program at the same time in the past. That was pretty cool. Jacques De Beer says, live your show. I think you meant love my show, Jacques. And then you took it off. Welcome, Jacques. I love that avatar. Pretty colors there. And Lorica Selfontaine, can someone explain the beaches they want to close? No one knows. No one knows. We know that in KZ and the premier there has said that he wants the beaches closed. So we'll see. We'll see what he has to say. Remember, he started doing these localized lockdowns last time he came on. So, yeah, no more waves. Cyril de Blasio was about to speak with Shinobu and Kozani Cuomo. Ooh, that's a lovely play on words there, Shelley. Well done. Well, folks, we've got nothing. Yep, nothing. So what's going on there? People are waiting. Yep. So, wow. Nothing going on here. Folks, they're streaming, but there's nothing coming through. So we bought 6 dozen Castle Lights today in preparation for the lockdown. Well, Tian, you're smart. I went out and bought a bunch of Weizen. And I don't usually drink much beer, but I bought plenty of beer just in case Tom Wolfe here in Pennsylvania decided that, his dictatorial authority, which supersedes the Constitution, is unconstitutional, that he would just impose it upon us. So they didn't lock down the package stores, but just in case I bought some alcohol, just in case. Those Durban surfers ain't going to be happy if they close down the beaches. Yeah, I think you're right about that. Surprise, they're late. Did not expect anything less. Yep. Well, he's probably still getting his instructions from Beijing. So, folks, this is what's this is what's happening behind the scenes. So he's got an earpiece in. So this is Ramaphosa. Mr. President, let me give you your earpiece. Yes, Beijing is calling. Yes, Beijing. Yes, this is Ramaphosa. Yes, I understand. And should we do that now, or can we wait? No, we must do it now. Okay. Thank you so much. Level 27. I don't know that we have a level 27. I see. The Chinese ambassador will tell us. Yeah, he's just down the street in Hatfield. Just down the street. I can have him here in a matter of minutes. Oh, he's outside my door. Well, thank you so much, Chairman Xi Jinping. Thank you so much. We have. All right. Thank you so much. So, ladies and gentlemen, Cyril Ramaphosa is getting his instructions from the Chinese Communist Party as we speak. This is why he's late, so just be patient. Patient. Evil Panda, what's this? Okay. Okay, I'll have to take that one out. Oh, here we go. And it stopped just like that.
Dumelang, riperile, di madekwana, lochan. My fellow South Africans, in just 11 days since I last addressed you in our family meeting, I reported on the signs of a resurgence of coronavirus infections in various parts of the country. On that day, the 3rd of December, our country recorded over 4,400 new cases of infections. Yesterday, the 13th of December, we recorded nearly 8,000 new cases of coronavirus infections. The cumulative number of confirmed coronavirus cases in our country today stands at 866,127,000. We're getting very close to 900,000 and will soon hit 1 million. These figures are a cause for great concern. there can no longer be any doubt that South Africa has entered a second wave of coronavirus infections, which we've been talking about. Given the rate at which new cases have grown over the last 2 weeks, there is every possibility that if we do not act urgently, and if we do not act together, the second wave will be even more severe than the first wave.
Please tell us about tuberculosis.
The daily average new cases nationally over the last 7 days is 74% higher than the previous 7 days.
And the number of HIV cases?
In this time, the number of new cases has increased from a daily average of around 3,800 to just over 6,600 per day. The daily average of COVID-19 deaths has increased by nearly 50% over the same period, from just over 100 deaths a day to just over 150 deaths. The 4 provinces that are leading the second wave
Here we go.
are the Eastern Cape,
Eastern Cape,
the Western Cape,
Yep.
KwaZulu-Natal and Gauteng. For the first time in this pandemic, most of the new infections are among young people, particularly those in the age group of 15 years to 19 years.
I don't believe that for a second.
There are probably many reasons for this massive spike in infections, but some key contributors are now becoming clear to us.
Your behavior.
Gatherings, especially social gatherings and parties, are the largest source of outbreaks. In many of these gatherings, parties, as I call them, social distancing is not being observed. Venues are often overcrowded, and they are often not adequately ventilated. Hand sanitizers are not readily available, and people are not wearing masks.
Oh!
Many people consume alcoholic drinks at these super spreader events, with the result that people become less careful about taking measures to protect themselves and to prevent infection.
Like the EFF at Brockenfell.
The recent post-matric Rage Festival event that took place in Balito in KwaZulu-Natal is a harsh reminder of how dangerous these large gatherings can be. We now know that nearly 1,000 young people from Gauteng who attended the event have tested positive for the coronavirus.
And
What we don't know yet is how many more people each of them has infected. It is said that up to 300 families could in turn have been infected just from this one event.
Wow.
The sad
Scary.
truth about this pandemic is that festivals, concerts, and parties, which should really be occasions for fun, either for celebration or for being joyful, are proving to be sources of infection and illness, and may even be sources of death. Another factor in the rise in infections is increased travel.
Ooh, traveling.
Many
gets you
people
sick.
do not observe prevention measures as they move within cities, within our towns or rural areas, and between different areas. We have to recognize that the more we travel, the greater the potential for the spread of the virus. That
Told you,
means
said it was your fault. Your fault.
wearing a mask when you are in public transport and making sure that windows are open at all times is
So the virus can
absolutely
enter?
essential. It also means reducing the number of people that one spends time with if one is traveling to visit either family and friends in other parts of the city or the country. It is safer to socialize with your immediate family than with large gatherings that could cause the virus to spread. More broadly, the massive rise in infections is the result of people not observing basic and easy to follow practices. These measures are particularly important as transmission is often caused by people who are infected but are not yet showing symptoms and are not aware that they are infected. The relatively low rates of infection over the last few months have made us more relaxed about wearing a mask over our nose and mouth every time we go out in public.
Been doing it for years.
We no longer see the point
Virus
of
is still
avoiding
here.
crowded venues or standing more than 1.5 meters from each other or keeping windows open when
Fraud.
we're traveling on public transport, or we no longer sanitize on a regular basis.
1.5 meters doesn't protect you.
We've gotten into the Christmas or festive spirit early
Have we?
and are inviting friends and family over to get-togethers, and this is what really spreads the virus. Yet it is our failure to closely adhere to all these basic precautions at all times that has brought us to this second wave.
No, your feckless
These
leadership
safety
has brought us
precautions may not seem important until someone you love has been infected with the virus because of your own carelessness.
here. Ah, it's your
The
fault, South
festive
Africa. I
season now
told you.
poses the greatest threat to the health and well-being of
You're
our
the gravest
nation.
threat.
It poses the greatest threat also to the recovery of our economy. This is
What
because
economy?
the
You
festive
destroyed it
season
with your racist
is
policy.
traditionally a time of gatherings, of travel, of meeting friends and family, and of relaxing after a difficult and a stressful year. In these respects, the festive season is very much like the Easter period. I think it is worth remembering that during Easter this year, we were able to limit the number of infections because we all remained disciplined as a people. We all observed the restrictions and we all adhered to the basic health
Dear God.
measures. And I would like all of us to remember that period. And in this
When you
regard,
criminalized 250,000 people.
we recognize the sacrifices that the churches made by suspending Easter services,
Didn't have a choice.
and indeed the contribution that all faiths have made throughout the year to preserving life. Just as we did during Easter, we need to once again adhere to the basic health protocols. We've been here before and we can do it again.
And when we do this,
If we do not do things differently this festive season, we will greet the new year not with joy, but with sorrow. Many of our friends, relatives, and co-workers will be infected. Some will get severely ill, and some, tragically, will also die. Unless we do things differently, this will be the last Christmas for many, many South Africans.
it will always be the last Christmas for me.
This is certainly what we do not want. We all want to live and let our loved ones also live.
Give this guy some
It is
truth.
therefore essential that we take extraordinary measures to contain the second wave with a view to saving lives while we continue to protect livelihoods. My fellow South Africans,
And what about the EFF?
11 days ago, we declared Nelson Mandela Bay to be a coronavirus hotspot area,
Here it comes.
in line with our differentiated approach to the management of the pandemic.
And you failed.
There are other municipalities that have also shown a particularly sharp rise in infections. Minister of Health, Dr. Zwelini Mkhize, has visited these areas, and after consultations with various stakeholders, Cabinet has decided to also declare the following 2 districts as coronavirus hotspots. And these are the Sarah Bartman district, and secondly, the Garden Route district. This all means that the same additional restrictions that we applied to Nelson Mandela Bay will apply in these districts with immediate effect from midnight tonight, and will continue until we see a clear and sustained decline in infections.
Julius
While
disagrees.
these hotspots areas require particular attention,
Yes, they do.
the festive season itself poses significant risk for the entire country. We have therefore been undertaking consultations in provinces, including at municipal level, on the measures that need to be taken to contain the second wave
Yes.
of infections.
We're listening with rapt attention.
There have been extensive deliberations within the National Coronavirus Command Council
Ooh, extensive
and the
discussions.
President's Coordinating Council, which brings together representatives of national, provincial, and local government together, including our traditional leaders.
Was there any science involved?
Based on the recommendations from these meetings, Cabinet has decided that further restrictions need to be imposed nationwide from
Of course.
midnight tonight with
Ooh.
immediate effect. Firstly, we will ensure that there is stricter enforcement of existing alert level 1 restrictions throughout the country during the festive season and beyond. This includes the requirement that drivers and operators of any form of public transport must ensure that all passengers who get into their vehicle
Yes.
must wear a mask.
A mask. Must wear a mask.
The managers or owners of buildings or places or premises, including retail stores, shopping centers, and government buildings, are obliged by law to ensure that all customers who enter their facilities or buildings must wear a mask.
Liar. It's not a law. It's a policy.
An employer must ensure that all employees wear masks
Piss.
while they perform their duties.
Sec. Your must.
This places a responsibility on all owners, managers, and employers, and on all of us indeed, to ensure that South Africans are safe whenever they are in any of these places.
Psst, that doesn't work.
The responsible individuals who do not ensure compliance with the regulations by their passengers, customers, or employees will be liable to a fine or to imprisonment of up to 6 months.
In prison? Oh, you serious?
Secondly, we're
Piss
taking
off.
measures to reduce the risk of super spreading events.
You don't
The
put people in
current
jail for
restrictions
farm murders.
on the size of gatherings do not do enough to prevent crowding in the current situation where new cases are rising
Such a
rapidly.
fraud.
Therefore, gatherings, including religious gatherings, may not be attended by more than 100 people for indoor events and 250 for outdoor events. At all times, and particularly in smaller venues, the total number of people in a venue may not exceed more than 50% of the capacity of the venue.
This fascist.
All gatherings must include adequate ventilation.
Define that.
They must also demonstrably show that there is social distancing. There must be wearing of masks and provision of hand sanitizers.
Unless you're the EFF at Brockenfell.
Due to the potential for transmission, all post-funeral gatherings, the so-called after-tears parties, are prohibited. One of the greatest challenges we need to confront are the huge crowds that flock to our beaches and recreational parks on public holidays over the festive season. We have undertaken extensive consultation on this issue so that we can find an approach that reduces the risk of large-scale transmission while limiting the negative impact on businesses in coastal areas of our country. We have therefore agreed to adopt a differentiated approach which takes into account the different circumstances in different areas of our country.
Circumstances.
In the areas with the highest rate of infection, beaches and public parks will be closed for the duration of the festive season from the 16th of December to the 3rd of January. This will apply specifically to all of the Eastern Cape, as well as the Garden Route district in the Western Cape. In KwaZulu-Natal beaches and public parks, this will be closed on what are traditionally the busiest days of the season. And these days are the 16th of December, the 25th, the 26th, 31st of December, as well as the 1st and the 2nd and the 3rd of January 2021.
My goodness.
The beaches and public parks of the Northern Cape and the Western Cape, with the exception of the Garden Route, will remain open to the public over the festive season. Festivals, live music,
this is insanity.
Live performances at beaches are prohibited. Beaches and parks that are open to the public will only be open between 9 a.m. and 6 p.m. The situation will be monitored daily by local authorities to ensure compliance with the regulations on gatherings and the prohibition of the sale and consumption of alcohol. In instances where there are large crowds or poor compliance with safety measures, specific beaches and recreational parks will be closed.
Yes.
National and provincial parks and other parks where access control measures and entry limitations are already in place may remain open to the public.
This is insane.
This is a most trying situation for all of us, but it requires constant attention. I have directed that all members of the National Coronavirus Command Council and key personnel should be on standby to ensure constant monitoring and assessment of the situation countrywide throughout this festive season. In other words, whatever leave they may have had will be a light leave. It will be tempered by the need to have consultations and meetings, so all of them will be on standby to be able to meet with immediate effect if the situation across the country deteriorates.
Because the suppression is so much.
And should the situation deteriorate, further action will be taken to protect our people. The third area of focus over this period is to prevent super spreader events and reduce the burden on healthcare services due to irresponsible alcohol consumption. Therefore, the following measures will be implemented.
Oh, here we go.
The hours of the curfew will be longer.
Told you.
Starting at 11 p.m. and ending at 4 a.m.
Told you.
Non-essential establishments, including restaurants and bars, will have to close at 10 p.m. so that staff and patrons, that is customers, can go home before the enforcement
Well, they finally figured this one
of
out,
the curfew.
morons.
The curfew is meant to prevent gatherings that go on late into the night
No, it's meant to
and into the morning,
enslave South Africans.
while enabling restaurants, bars, and taverns to continue to operate and earn an income. We should all remember that the hours of curfew also apply to Christmas Eve or New Year's Eve. This means
Wow.
that we will all need to make changes to the way in which we celebrate
Pure
these
insanity.
occasions.
Exactly.
The
and
sale
they'll
of
just get liquored up
alcohol from
earlier.
retail outlets
There we go.
will only be permitted between 10 a.m. and 6 p.m. from Monday to Thursday.
Thursday. No change there.
Registered wineries and wine farms may continue to offer tastings and wine sales to the public for off-site consumption over weekends. This exception
How does that work?
is being made due to the vital contribution of these establishments to the tourism sector in several parts of the
After you
country.
destroyed the vineyards, your stupid rules.
Alcohol consumption in all public spaces, such as beaches and parks, is strictly prohibited. We will not allow large numbers of people congregating in any one place without proper controls or proper protocols being in place.
Except in the township.
These festive season restrictions will be reviewed in early January based on the state of the pandemic across the country. My fellow South Africans, in determining our response to the second wave of infections, we have sought to carefully balance the need to save lives and to protect livelihoods.
No, you haven't.
The national
Racist
lockdown,
rules.
which we imposed at the beginning of the pandemic,
Failed.
was designed to delay the spread of the virus so that we could adequately prepare our health systems
And you didn't.
to respond to the rise of infections. At that time, we were not ready to cope with a sudden increase of cases
And
and
you still
hospital
aren't.
admissions.
And you still aren't.
We needed to secure adequate equipment and supplies to make additional space available in our health facilities and to train our healthcare workers and to put in place systems to monitor and respond to trends in the pandemic. A full lockdown was absolutely necessary then
No, it
to
wasn't.
delay the pandemic,
It didn't.
but would not serve the same purpose now. And that is why we are not opting for that option.
You damn near have it.
Over the past several months, we have put in place a range of measures to enhance our capacity to respond. Through the hard work of our health workers, public servants, medical experts, and scientific advisors,
And the NCC.
we have marshaled all of our resources to protect the people of South Africa and to provide care to those who need it.
Yes. Unless
The
they're
measures that we
minorities.
took early in the pandemic and the actions of every South African have allowed us to save many lives already.
Ooh, yes, we saved so many lives.
Now we must protect the gains we've made and work together to contain the second wave. As we have done since the very beginning, we must act based on the best scientific evidence that is available to us. Just as our doctors, nurses, and frontline workers are working tirelessly to protect us, we must work tirelessly to protect them as well. To date, over 38,000 health workers in the public sector have tested positive to COVID-19. Of these, nearly 5,000 were admitted to hospital. Sadly, 391 health workers in the public sector have passed away. As a nation, we owe so much to these brave and dedicated people and to their families, for without them, we would not have come this far. As we confront the second wave of infections, we must do everything we can to support and protect our health workers. Unless we act responsibly now, unless we adhere at all times to the basic precautions that we all know, we will face a bleak new year. Despite the restrictions on many of our regular activities, this season can be both festive and safe.
No, it can't be with you clowns in charge.
This festive season, I'm asking you to keep your celebrations small and to avoid being in crowds.
Well said,
if you are spending time with other people,
yes,
I ask that you do so outside, enjoying the splendid South African summer weather, or at least to make sure that you are in a well-ventilated space.
Where? You've closed the park.
If you are inside.
Where are we going
I'm
outside?
also asking you to wear a mask that covers your nose and your mouth whenever you are in public or in the company of people you don't live with.
Can we cover your face?
There is no point in wearing a mask on your chin or keeping it in your pocket
A head of state telling me this?
or lowering it to speak to someone.
Is he not embarrassed?
Remember to regularly wash your hands with soap and water for at least 20 seconds or with a sanitizer. I also
Do you know
ask
why,
that you limit
Cyril?
your travel as much as possible. If you have to travel, make sure that you travel safely. If you are going to visit friends and family, limit your number of contacts for at least 1 week before you travel, and try to spend time with only your immediate family or as small a group of people as possible.
He has no idea what he's talking about.
We know that COVID-19 affects people differently. According to the World Health Organization, most people are likely to develop mild or moderate illnesses and will recover within a short space of time without hospitalization. The most common symptoms are fever,
Ooh,
a dry cough,
ooh,
and tiredness.
ooh, I'm tired of this.
Less common,
Does that give me corona?
but moderate symptoms are aches and pains,
I got
sore
pains.
throat, and loss of taste or smell.
Oh, I've
If
lost
you
taste for this.
experience these symptoms, then you should isolate yourself from others.
And die.
If you experience severe symptoms such as difficulty in breathing or shortness of breath
Shortness.
or chest pain, loss
might have
of
asthma.
speech or movement, you should seek immediate medical attention.
Where? The clinics are closed.
I'm not a medical doctor.
No, you're not.
Dr. Mkhize coaches me.
Ooh.
Please remember that if you have tested positive for coronavirus, or if you have been in close contact with someone who tested positive, you should immediately isolate yourself from others. As we have said in the past, the only viable defense we will have against COVID-19 will be the vaccine.
No, it won't.
Now, when it comes to the vaccine, South Africa has concluded all the necessary processes
What
to
processes?
ensure its participation in the World Health Organization COVID-19 Global Vaccine Access Facility.
They don't have any vaccines.
This facility, known as COVAX,
COVAX.
pools resources
What resources?
and shares vaccine development risk to ensure equitable access to vaccines when they become available.
He means free.
Now, as part of this facility, it is expected that South Africa will receive initial vaccines to cover about 10% of our population in the early part of next year.
But you make your own vaccine. You
We are
got
also part of the African Vaccine Acquisition Task Team that I set up as chair of the African Union. And this is looking at alternative financing mechanisms to secure additional vaccines for African countries beyond the COVAX facility. The Minister of Health is part of this task team and is also looking at innovative partnerships here in our country with the private sector to ensure that South Africans have access to an effective vaccine that is suitable to our conditions. Now, I know a lot of information is spreading about the issue of vaccines. I want to assure our people that the Department of Health, our Minister of Health, and all of us in Cabinet are properly seized with this matter. And we will keep on briefing the nation on the issue of vaccines.
Just take beetroot.
The next few weeks are going to be a great test of our determination and restraint.
Poverty's the cause.
This period will require each of us to do things differently to previous years, because this year is unlike any other year that we have lived through before.
Yes, because you've accelerated.
It will require us to give up some short-lived pleasures to protect ourselves and others, and to ensure that we can enjoy such times together in future years. I'm convinced that if we each play our part, if we each follow the basic precautions, then we can all have a joyful festive season. And most importantly, we can all have a happy, healthy, and prosperous new year that is dawning.
Not with you people in power.
And I wish all of you a blessed festive season, that you may remain safe and in good health, and that you may be able to welcome the new year together with all of us united as a resolute nation. May God continue to bless our beautiful country and all its people and protect us all. I thank you.
Oh, dear God, that's just utter nonsense. Ladies and gentlemen, you've just heard President Cyril Ramaphosa from South Africa spreading utter nonsense and acting like a complete buffoon yet again. Wow, disgraceful, disgraceful, disgraceful to say the very least, folks. That's unbelievable. Well, folks, very quickly, if you're not a subscriber to Chris Wyatt Africa, hey, take a second, smash that subscription button right down there. You won't regret it. You get great content. We talk about Africa. We talk about South Africa. We talk about Southern Africa in particular. And we have segments on this channel about rugby, about politics, the USA. Today, we did a live stream earlier this morning. So smash the subscription button. If you're not a subscriber, do it right now. I challenge you. I dare you. I dare you. Push that subscription button. Anyway, yeah, here's the bottom line, folks. Oh, my goodness. So this morning we did a stream on the Rugby 2023 Rugby World Cup pool draw. That's rugby. Then we had a stream with the Pennsylvania's 92nd Congressional District Representative, Don Kiefer. And now we covered Cyril Ramaphosa. Look at that. Rugby, France, politics in Pennsylvania, and now South Africa. Listen, folks, oh my goodness, please smash the like button if you're not already a subscriber. Smash the like button too. But if you're not a subscriber, push that subscription button. We really appreciate the support for the channel. Anyway, let's get to what Ramaphosa had to say, folks. Let's talk about it. I mean, we got to do it now. Here we go. You ready for this? Oh my goodness. Wow. So we were chastised by President Ramaphosa, telling us that we're responsible for all these problems. We being, people, but South Africans in particular in this case I'm talking about. You guys are the ones responsible for it. You caused all these problems, ladies and gentlemen. It's your fault. It's your fault. Isn't this just crazy, crazy, crazy stuff? Anyway, well, here we go. All right, so shutting down the beaches in the Eastern Cape. Let me get this back here. Shutting down the beaches from the 16th of December until the 3rd of January. Yep, that's the beaches in the Garden Route in the Eastern Cape. Boom, shut down, just like that. KZN, they're shutting down the beaches on the busy days, which are the 16th of December, Reconciliation Day, or Day of the Vow, depending how you celebrate it. Christmas Day, the day after Christmas, Boxing Day, the 25th, 26th, New Year's Eve, the 31st, the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd of January. Beaches in KZN are shut down. But we're going to enjoy the festive season, says Ramaphosa, even though you're closing the beaches. It's summertime in South Africa. What planet are you on, Rocco? Okay. They're also applying the same restrictions that nearly 2 weeks ago they imposed on Nelson Mandela Bay, now on Sarah Baartman Municipality and the Garden Route. There you go, folks. Yep. In the Northern Cape, as if there's a lot of beaches there that people go to, and the Western Cape, beaches will be open only from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Wow. Wow. Folks, Ramaphosa, in his condescending attitude, sat there and told us about washing our hands for 20 seconds and blaming you for gatherings when you're not being where you're supposed to be. Ronaldo's having a rant now. Well, I'm not having a rant because this is expected. There's no surprise or shock here. But Ronaldo lives in the Eastern Cape, and I'm sure that he's concerned about beaches in Port Elizabeth being shut down. But yeah, his constituents not having any way to make a living. They're destroying the tourism industry in South Africa yet again. What tourism survived? Seriously, people, this COVID-19 is so last year, says Andre Jacobs. Yeah, Glenn Venter says, God bless. Good one, God bless Trump followers. Yep. Shut those damn beaches down in the Free State. There you go, Bernard. Northwest, shut the Mpumalanga beaches down. I'm all in favor of shutting beaches down in Gauteng. Do it now. Do it right now. By the way, no mention of gatherings by the economic freedom fighters at Brackenfell when 3,000 to 5,000 thugs showed up carrying pungas and knob carries and golf clubs. No social distancing, no mask. Forming up in the shape of impies in an effort to attack people. Yeah, no discussion about that. No discussion about the thousands of EFF supporters that showed up in Senegal on October 16th, spreading the virus everywhere, coming from Gauteng in the busloads down to the Free State, spreading their virus all over. That's allowed. That's permissible. But God forbid you have family members. Make sure you... By the way, what is this quarantine for 1 week? What does that mean? Self-quarantine for 1 week. No one's offering that advice anywhere on the planet. Not even the World Health Organization offers that advice 1 week. They tell you to quarantine for 14 days. Now here in the U.S., they're saying something like 5 days. It keeps changing. But give me a freaking break, ladies and gentlemen. Give me a break. Anyway, I guess I'm losing audience to Ronaldo because I'm not doing a rant. Well, I give you plenty of rants on this channel. Why do we need a vaccine for a virus that's 99.8 survival rate? Yeah, and not to mention, these are vaccines that have been given the green light with all the safety protocols removed by Trump so that these things can be done. But make no mistake, folks. Every vaccine out there is a consequence of American pharmaceutical industry. We bore the brunt. And before any Africans start whining like they did back in February and March about, we're guinea pigs. No, the guinea pigs were right here. And by the way, most of those guinea pigs were white Americans. So stop your racist nonsense because we know that's coming. We've already heard it once before. The virus vaccines have been tested out mostly, predominantly on white Americans. Right here in this country, we tested it, we funded the research, we paid for it. The world is going to get the vaccine. So let's get that straight right now. So when you talk about COVAX, Cyril Ramaphosa, you didn't do jack for a virus. You got a pharmaceutical industry in South Africa. Why didn't you develop a vaccination? Why didn't you? The Chinese have 1.5 billion people. They have trillions of dollars in wealth they've pilfered from the world with their illicit trade practices and their trade barriers to bring your products and services getting to China. Why don't the Chinese have a vaccine? They do. But of course, they probably likely stole the information to make the vaccination from American pharmaceutical companies with their spies and their industrial espionage. The Brits have a vaccination. Yeah, licensed from Pfizer. There you go. There you go. Marianne Cohen says, would love to see your face minus the beard. Well, you should go to the link below and go to my LinkedIn page. And you can see me without the beard. You can see me with proper short hair. I don't usually have hair this length. It's kind of my hippie season here. So when I retired from the Army last year. So why is nobody subscribing to the channel right now? Is that YouTube suppression? Normally, I'm having this conversation, talking to people, new people show up, and we get subscribers. You guys notice that only one subscription during the stream? That's highly suspect. I mean, somebody had to like what's going on here, and we would have picked up at least a few people of the 400 plus people that watch the stream, because not all of them were subscribers, folks. So, something really fishy is going on with YouTube. We've talked about that. We have talked about that. Anyway, so let me get back. Let me see if we've been losing subscribers all day. Yeah, no change. 20,177. I can't believe everybody currently watching this stream is not a subscriber. Acidzil says no money. You don't have to have money to be a subscriber. Subscription is free, Acidzil. Subscription is free. I'm not asking people to become paying members. Just become a subscriber. Push the button right down there, right there, and you become a subscriber. No, you don't have to pay to be a subscriber. Jody says DA is threatening to take liquor license away if hospitality doesn't ensure people wear masks. Yeah, ANC Light. There you go. The DA playing the role of the ANC. Test subjects know this vaccine is more shady than the mayor's Chinese wife. YouTube glitchiness is across the board. That's true. Plumbing and gas. It's true. Anyway, Christian Gerhardt says, das war echt zum Knochenkotzen. Ich stimme zu. Yeah, anyway, folks, subscriptions are free if you want to be a subscriber. Anyway, no, absolutely. U2 has sold their soul, no surprise. You're right, Olive, no surprise there whatsoever. Did you hear that the airlines will be flying with all the window portals open? Says Nigel. Did you guys see what happened on a United flight when they kicked the family off for having a 2-year-old who refused to wear a mask? First off, even the World Health Organization doesn't recommend that people under the age of 5 wear masks. There's no reason for it. So they kicked them off the plane. There's a subscriber. Thank you very much, Johan Hibbert. Thank you for subscribing. Very much appreciated. Bye-bye, donkey. Marek Pratny Afrikansny. Ek dink. Anyway, they kicked this couple off a plane. They're already boarded because their child wouldn't wear a mask. You should see the vile comments about people. Oh, this is bad parenting. No, it's not bad parenting. The child's not required to wear a mask. And it has no effect whatsoever. This slavish devotion to wearing a mask is very disturbing. Listen, if you want to wear a mask because it makes you feel comfortable, I don't begrudge you that. But this idiotic nonsense, now they're going to imprison businesses because someone takes a mask off in their store. They have no authority to do that. Zolani Mbutu, thank you so much, Mbutu. Thank you so much for subscribing, Zolani. Welcome to this channel. Appreciate it. Acid Sill says, I am a subscriber. Well, you might be Acid Sill. You might not be. YouTube unsubscribes members. One of my subscribers on here was unsubscribed 7 times in the past 3 days. 7 times. Every time the person watches my stream, look down, oh, I'm not subscribed. Subscribe. Over and over again. Jack Stander says, not just kicked off, but banned for life from flying on the airline again. Oh, they were banned for life. Oh, I didn't hear that, Jack. Really? Well, then we will start a campaign against United Airlines if that in fact is true. Let me research it and find out if it's true. That's unbelievable. So United Airlines, which took our tax dollars to survive, banned them for like, whoa, fire rat. Oh. If you can smell a fart through a mask, how is it going to stop COVID? Bingo. Not to mention it comes from the sides. It's nonsense. First off, the social distancing. Social distance 1.5 meters. Folks, 1.5 meters social distancing doesn't accomplish anything. A cough travels 16 feet. Yeah, 5 meters. Is that 5 meters? 3 meters. It's 3 meters, whatever. And a sneeze can travel up to 24 feet, nearly 6 meters. So why are you standing 1.5 meters apart from people? It doesn't accomplish a damn thing. So I'm going to Ohio for my mother's funeral. Fortunately, I don't have the ANC banning that, so I'll be able to attend my mother's funeral on Saturday. So I go to my mother's funeral on Saturday in Ohio. Shelly Ashurst, thank you very much. I think you gave one earlier, Shelly, too, so I'll give you a second one. Really appreciate your support in South Africa. Well, I am supporting. You need to support. You're living under tyranny in South Africa. And we see a replication of it right here in the United States. Not to the degree you're seeing it, but we're seeing it here. Unbelievable. So I'm going to go see my mother for the funeral for my mother on Saturday. 2 years ago, I went to see not 2 years ago. Last year, was it last year? I think it was last year. I went to see my mother. Last year, my mother went to see the only hockey game she ever saw in her life. She went with us up to watch the Wheeling Nailers. She went with me up to Wheeling to watch the Wheeling Nailers. We went up there and we watched them play hockey in Wheeling, West Virginia. That is a league that, unlike these other clowns, has actually restarted its season. So they played their first game Friday night at home in Wheeling. So serendipitously, they are playing Friday and Saturday. I will be driving from here after my stream on Friday to Wheeling, West Virginia and overnighting, and then driving the hour and a half from there to the funeral on Saturday morning. So potentially I could go to a game Friday night and go to a game Saturday night. So I contacted them because they have games. They're allowing fans. But they've set up this system that people are so far apart that they're only allowing season ticket holders. So I thought a good way to honor my mother's passing was to do something we did together by attending a hockey game and do a video and say, hey, I was here last year with my mom, and here I am back again on right after, we're burying her tomorrow, or we just buried her today, and here we are. But I can't do that. I can't do that because of the hysteria over COVID-19, even in West Virginia. People have lost their freaking minds, folks. The bell's not working. Why is the bell not working? Glenn, what are you talking about? I've done the bell. If I wasn't self-employed, I'd share some cash. All of us don't need to share cash. No. Thank you. No. People are welcome to do. Look, this channel is not about super chats. It's not about the ad revenue. It's not about. It's not about memberships. All of those things are appreciated. If you have the means to do it, I felt really guilty even having memberships, since a big portion of my audience was from South Africa, and I know that 3 million people lost their jobs. More people were deeply impacted by the ANC's racist rules, regulations, and policies like BEE or the Tourism Relief Fund denying relief funds to minority-owned business. I know that. And not just minorities. All South Africans are impoverished by that nonsense. 2 out of 3 of every employees that work for a minority-owned tourism company are black South Africans. So when they go out of business, black South Africans, 2 out of 3 of their employees are black, are also tossed out in the street. So but I monetize the channel based on requests from viewers. Lots of requests. I wasn't monetized. I finally did it after people would said on and on they wanted. I created memberships, and the memberships are very, very, very small. I mean, I set a tier of 10 for the top level, $10 US, $5, and then $2 for the bottom level. But in South Africa, for the lowest level tier membership, they only charge you 10 Rand per month. It's not even chips when you go to KFC. I don't think you can get chips for 10 Rand these days. But anyway, so it's not about that. The super chats are much appreciated. I know that people really, really grateful when you do that. Thank you so much for that. If you watch my videos, that's what matters. I'm trying to help spread the word around the world about what's happening in Africa and also in South Africa. Tanya Van de Ventus says, heartfelt condolences. Well, thank you so much, Tanya. I appreciate that. Allah said, I spent extra cash on seeds for edible plants. Well, good for you, Allah, because you're planning ahead. That's good use of your money. I endorse that wholeheartedly. Planning ahead. So many people have lost their minds. I agree, Kyle. China promised to give Nigeria a group of scientists and doctors help with the pandemic. After spending 3 weeks on our borders, we discovered they were engineers. Yeah, and also the medical industry found that very insulting. Nigeria's medical industry doesn't need Chinese. Nigeria has world-class doctors and nurses and facilities. Not everywhere, and it's not available to everyone, but they have world-class. They have really talented medical professionals. The Nigerians did an amazing job at stopping the spread of Ebola back in 2014. That's right, folks. You heard it right here. I said it then. I'm saying it now. I wrote about it in the intelligence community, and I talked about it publicly. The Nigerians did a brilliant job. When people came from Liberia, because the close links between Liberia and Nigeria, back to Abuja, they landed there in Lagos. They went out and they started spreading it. The Nigerian public health authorities quickly intervened. They isolated, they quarantined those people. They tested them. They kept people away from them. They provided palliative care. And only a couple dozen people in Nigeria ever got COVID. Can you imagine? Country of 190 million people back then. Now it's 208. 190 million people. If that virus had gotten out of control in Nigeria, it would have been like wildfire. But Nigeria's public health authorities had a disaster response plan, a pandemic response plan in place. Now, you want to know where they got that idea? I take a little credit here. The United States U.S. Africa Command created a program when it was first formed for pandemic response. And we used the pandemic response program to help public health officials, military, and others around the continent learn how to respond to these pandemics. And Nigeria did a brilliant job. Now, I don't take credit. We don't take credit for what Nigeria did. They did it. But the idea was inspired by U.S. Africa Command, and that's a positive that the military did for Africa. So there you go, folks. So Nigeria did a brilliant job, the one. They did a brilliant, brilliant job. And when the Chinese said they're sending medical experts to Nigeria, the Nigerian medical profession was offended, and they should have been offended. They should have been offended. There's no reason for them to be there. Trevor says, I have a respiratory problem, but I have to wear a mask. Very uncomfortable. Yeah, and if you have asthma, it's almost impossible to breathe, and it puts your health at risk. It can raise your blood pressure and cause all kinds of problems. And I just said, my doctor's an Indian. What a pleasant and caring man. I couldn't ask for a better doctor. Cool, that's awesome. The anesthesiologist to administer the anesthesia when my gallbladder's removed after flying back from South Africa in 2011? 2010. Yeah, 10 years ago now. Wow. Was Indian as well. Trevor says, great show. And we got a super chat coming from Trevor. Let me see what else we got here. Amy Justine Leroux. I love that name. Evening, everyone. Welcome to you, Amy. Pleasure to see you here. If you're not a subscriber, Amy, hey, it's free. Subscribe to the channel. Oh, there you go. Trevor, hey, ho, 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 ho. Merry Christmas. By the way, folks, all super chats up through Christmas get a Christmas bell ring. We will have a Christmas show on the week of Christmas, probably during the week because I have to come back from my mother's funeral. So I'm looking at probably doing it on the Wednesday because Thursday is the day before Christmas, Christmas Eve. So probably on Wednesday we'll have musical guests like Giselle, and we'll also have Dean Chancey on the channel and others. That'll be coming up, folks, on Christmas. Well, just before Christmas, Christmas Eve. We're hoping on a few other musical guests, but right now that's who we have on the channel. We'll have Marlaise from Namibia who'll be on the channel reading tales in Afrikaans and in English, Christmas tales. I'll be dressed as Santa. And in case you're curious what that looks like, folks, no profanity, no misbehavior, no politics in that. We are just going to celebrate Christmas, the birth of Christ, and then those who enjoy the secular holiday will also celebrate that. But in case you're wondering about Santa Claus, take a peek up there just over my shoulder. Look at that. There's Santa right there, folks. That's right, the genuine beard. No need to glue anything on. It's the real deal. I will be dressed as Santa Claus, folks, on that day. And we'll have musical guest, musical talent on the channel. That's right. Here you go. Ho, 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 ho. There you go, folks. So we will have Santa Claus right here in Chris Wine Africa. Looking forward to it. If you guys want to be on. Are you also a professional trucker? No, I'm not a trucker. I should probably let people know the thing. Amy says, nice beard. But yeah, for those, let me let you know. Okay, so we got about 283 people here. I'm going to make a push right now. Please subscribe to my channel. Am I e-begging? You damn skippy on me begging, because YouTube has been suppressing viewership and suppressing analytics on my channel for the past 10 days. And they've also been suppressing subscribers, removing subscribers who watch my channel regularly. So I'm trying to overcome that by pushing for subscribers. So please subscribe. But a lot of faces, a lot of names here don't recognize me, so I'll let you know very quickly. I'm Chris White. I'm a retired U.S. Army colonel, not a truck driver. I retired from the U.S. Army from active duty in October last year, 2019, after serving 36 and a half years in the Army, 34 of those on active duty. Started out as an enlisted soldier in the Signal Corps, then became an intelligence officer, did tactical intelligence, counterintelligence, strategic intelligence, signals intelligence. I did all those things throughout the course of my career. I was fortunate enough to write intelligence reports for the President of the United States when the President was George Bush. Worked at the Defense Intelligence Agency, the National Security Agency, U.S. Africa Command. I served 3 tours in Germany in the Cold War, at the end of the Cold War, after the Cold War, as a private, sergeant, lieutenant, captain, lieutenant colonel, all those positions. I served a tour in Italy. I lived and served in Tunisia, Liberia, Botswana, Malawi, Niger, Mauritania, Uganda, and Ethiopia in Africa. And I've worked in close to 40 African countries at one time or another on short term. I'm a published author, both in academic circles and in popular media, with reports on defense industry in Africa and also rugby. I'm a rugby journalist and have been published. I did 12 stories during the Rugby World Cup in Japan, which were published on GJ Coil Rugby. And I've also been published in other places. Here on the channel, we follow Africa across the board. I've reported recently on Bobby Wine, also on the ISIS-inspired insurgency in Cabo Delgado province of Mozambique, on Namibia's recent elections. Tomorrow I'm supposed to have members of one of the opposition parties on my channel for interviews. I interview rugby players and executives, as well as politicians. In South Africa, I've interviewed Steve Hofmeyr, Dr. Corne Mulder, from the Freedom Front Plus, all of the Cape Secession groups, Hein Marks, Phil Craig, and who else? Phil Craig and Des Palm, as well as musicians in South Africa, Dupree van Heerden, Giselle. And so we do all kinds of stuff, small-scale commercial farmers in Ghana. Anyway, so that's a little bit about me. And that's just so people don't know me. If you're curious, you want to subscribe, now you know a little bit about me. But it looks like the audience is disappearing as I describe who I am. So there you go. Joe Publico, back again from Florida. Good to see you again. Enough is enough. We have to stop. Genoeg is genoeg. Genoeg is genoeg. That's right. Enough is enough. That's right. As Joe Black would say, bring hoop weer terug. Bring hope back, folks. We need someone to bring hope back. Africana says, are you permitted to carry a concealed weapon in Pennsylvania? I don't know the answer on that one, Africana. I don't have a concealed carry permit. I have no idea if that's the case here in Pennsylvania. Anybody in Pennsylvania know the answer? Jump in there. Any thoughts on SolarWinds hacks? Yeah, Deval, that's a curious one there. That's a very curious one. Also is curious about what happened to all the Google servers today around the world. In the midst of my stream from the Rugby World Cup pool session this morning, things went wonky. I was able to stay online, but lots of people lost it. They got blank signals. That was people in South Africa. That was people in New Zealand. That was people here in the U.S., people in Europe. They couldn't get to it, while others could. Really weird stuff, but all those things went down. Rugby World Cup draw. The South Africa group should be fun to watch. My favorite team, the French, got an interesting matchup with New Zealand, but should progress. Most likely in that group, it will be France and New Zealand, but I think New Zealand will win that pool. South Africa has a difficult pool. I mean, Ireland won't be a pushover, and Scotland won't be a pushover either. Both will challenge South Africa, but they should win that pool. I think the most interesting pool is Pool C, which had who's in Pool C? Is it Argentina? Argentina, Australia, and Fiji. That's going to be is that the one, or no? The Pumas are in the last. Maybe the Pumas are with Japan. I'm trying to remember. But anyway, that Pool C, I think is the most interesting. It should be the most competitive. But I don't think the winner of Pool C is going to win the World Cup. And then England is in Pool D with Japan. So there you go. Johan, this fun billion is out of here. How's it, Chris? Do you know why YouTube went down today? No, Karen Rodemeyer, I have no idea. It has not been reported on. YouTube reported they were down, but no explanations as of yet. And we have all kinds of speculation. Was it the Chinese Communist Party? Was it the Iranians? Was it the Russians? Was it right-wing nut jobs who shut down them, pissed off over the election? I don't know. We don't know. We're waiting to find out. It will be interesting. Donna Riley, Donnaisms is back. I've been missing due to studying. Well, I hope the studying is going well for you, Donna. What's this? Keith says, you're talking to one. Has the Electoral College decided the outcome? Is it over for Trump? For Connor, the Electoral College meets today, and they've been meeting, so they've probably decided on everything in the 50 states. And so each legislature, they meet in the 50 states. In Harrisburg, we had electors meeting today. They must send their results to the Congress. It must arrive by the 19th of December, early in January, the 5th or 6th. I've seen different reports, but it's early in January. Let me just look at the calendar and see which day. If one of them's a weekend, I'll know it's not that day. So I think it's the 5th. It might be the 6th of January. The joint session of Congress meets, and they decide to accept or reject the Electoral College. That's when we have a president-elect on that date, not before then. Is it done for Trump? No, there's all kinds of stuff going on here, folks. Crazy stuff. Today also was the day that the judge in the Antrim County, Michigan case of giving access to the Dominion servers and the thumb drives and all that. They did a forensic investigation. The judge had put a muzzle on that. The attorneys asked for that information to be released because they said it was of national security interest, and we're waiting for that information to come out. Of course, immediately the Michigan Secretary of State came out and said it was unreliable, it was inaccurate, it was bad analysis. And they don't know. They haven't seen the analysis. They're making that claim already. So they're already trying to cover it up. January 20th will be D-Day, Olive says, and I think you're correct about that one. You are correct about that one. I like the way you were trashing France and the French. Well, I got beat up for that. Some guy came on there on my stream and watched it and said I should be ashamed of myself. What's wrong with me? Why am I disrespectful? And I said, disrespectful to whom? To World Rugby, to France, to Macron. Yeah, I was disrespectful to Macron. He looks like an idiot walking out there with a diaper on his face, standing 20 feet away from the other presenter. What the hell's wrong with him? I understand backstage there were probably people back there. Take your mask off when you come out. Don't be a coward. Stop your empty virtue signaling. That mask is not doing anything except making you look like an idiot. And it's hard enough for people to understand you. Now, the person who said that, who commented on my video, wasn't attacked. They asked them to clarify themselves. That person on my video said that they said they understand I'm frustrated because I don't understand. I understood every damn word they're saying. I speak French. Depuis plus de 20 ans, j'ai appris la langue de français en Californie avant 20 ans. C'est plus facile pour moi pour comprendre toutes les choses les Français parlaient. Et non, la langue n'est pas étrangère pour moi. C'est très facile pour comprendre toutes les choses que le président Macron a dit. C'était vraiment facile pour moi parce que je comprends le langue français, je parle le langue français, je lis le langue français. C'est pas des tâches difficiles. Non, c'est pas dur pour moi. Anyway, so the point was that I didn't understand. I understand fully well, but it's a global audience. Here comes the rant, folks. You ready for the rant? It was a global audience. World Rugby screws the pooch yet again. So we got Macron coming out there and a host of French celebrities that nobody's ever heard of except for Christian Louboutin. We know Christian Louboutin with his silly red shoes that cost $8,000 a shoe, $16,000 a pair. That's called embellishment, folks, in case you missed that. Yeah, nobody heard of any of these people. They come out there and they speak French the whole damn time. It's rugby, not France. It's rugby. Yes, I know you're hosting the World Cup, but why is everything in French? And if people just assume that I don't speak French, I speak French. But we have a global audience. French is no longer an international language. English is. Get over it. Suck it up, Buttercup. Learn to deal with it. And don't accuse people who aren't French of being, you're just too lazy to learn a language. I speak 6 languages, including your language. Good God. Why could they not have the have closed caption under there so that the rest of the planet, 9 billion people, can understand what the hell you're talking about in France? I tried to translate, be an interpreter, but it's impossible. I did the best I could because I'm listening to it here on a computer so I had to put them on silent and just tell you what they were saying. It's insane. Utter insanity. World Rugby screws the pooch again. When Japan won the World Cup bid, they didn't come out and speak in Japanese for 2 hours, everybody. They spoke in English. They introduced themselves in Japanese and to the Japanese audience. They spoke briefly. Then they spoke to the world. No, the French come out. They introduce themselves in French. They speak to the world in French as if nobody else matters. The Samoans don't speak French. South Africans don't speak French. Kiwis don't speak French. Irish don't speak French. The whole rugby world was watching, and they're all like, what is going on? What is going on? What are they saying? What is going on? Good God. Give me a freaking break. Give me a freaking break. World Rugby, yet again, screws the pooch. Let's talk about how World Rugby screws the pooch. You had a brilliant name, the International Rugby Board, and you changed it to the bland, ludicrous World Rugby. That's number one. Number two, you had the Rugby World Cup and the Women's Rugby World Cup. We knew which one was which. And because you're woke, you decided, well, let's take the women's off there because that's not right. We shouldn't be calling women's. Why isn't it right? Why shouldn't we recognize women and their excellence in rugby? It was distinct. We knew it was a Women's Rugby World Cup. Now we have a World Cup in 2021. But I thought you just said it was in 2023. It is. The men's in 2023. The women's in 2021. But there's no distinction. You go to the damn website, it's the Rugby World Cup, not the Women's Rugby World Cup. So you screwed the pooch again, World Rugby. Good God. Good God. Anyway. Jeez. Yeah, Devolve. I heard that earlier. That he's getting one. So, what did I miss here? Google was hit, not just you. Well, I said Google. Alphabet, all their properties were hit. Australia, Wales, and Fiji. Thank you, Count Von Totenkopf. Yeah, good to see you back. Yeah, Australia, Wales, and Fiji. That is going to be an interesting pool. Yeah, the Pumas are with England and Japan. That's going to be. But I think the most competitive will be the one with those three. That's going to be Wales and where's that? Wales, Australia, and Fiji. I think that's going to be the most competitive. Yeah. What else we got here? 20th January, D-Day. Yep. How did I miss that comment for? Trump former years? I don't know. I hope so. Hey, Carl. Good to see you there. Leilu. Ooh, la, la, la. And he's showing off with the French again. Non, pas du tout. Ce n'est pas la réalité. C'est pas vrai. Non, non, non. Tu n'as pas. Non. Non, c'est pas. Je ne suis pas un show-off. Je suis mon cœur. Chris ranting in French is hilarious. Yep. Pennsylvania holds the key. Exciting place to be right now. Well, I'm in Pennsylvania. I live right here in Pennsylvania. And the only excitement I see is my rant. Who buys shoes in single units? Austin said it's a bloody joke. Okay, 19742 France. Glenn, I don't know what that is. Jack Standard. Absolutely ludicrous. English is a global language. Exactly, Emil Austin. Exactly right. And there's nothing wrong with speaking other languages and learning other languages. I learn lots of other languages, and I try to learn new ones all the time. Exactly. So, yep. But no, I mean, the whole thing was, I mean, the presenter was amazing. She was articulate. She knows the camera. I don't know her from Eve because I don't watch French television all that often. I assume she's a French television presenter. She had a Germanic name, but she's obviously French. She was fantastic. Very, very appealing, very attractive, very engaging. She knew how to engage the people coming out. But the celebrities that the French brought out, including, architects and ballet dancers, was a cornucopia of diversity of appearance. Except there were no black folks and there were no Pacific Islanders, but they had an Asian, they had an Arab, they had this, they had that. Cornucopia of diversity. Yeah, come on. Stop the virtue signaling. Let's just bring out real celebrities. Yeah, you got some real celebrities in France. Some of the people we can actually know. Gerard Depardieu. We know who he is. And there's others out there. All right. Didn't even have subtitles. That's exactly my point. They didn't have subtitles. How stupid is that? They should have assumed the French were going to be arrogant and only do it in French. Now, there was intermixing of some English and French, but not from Macron. Macron spoke only in French the whole time. And so did most of the other people came out there. The ballet dancers spoke only in French. Crazy stuff. Why is France hosting again? Well, Futsarko, that's a very good question. Why is France hosting this tournament? Because I don't get it. South Africa had the best bid according to World Rugby's own team, an independent body that they brought together. Ireland had the second best bid. And then we're all thinking, well, South Africa, did they edge out Ireland? Did they pull it off? And then they awarded it to France, whose bid was subpar, substandard. Is this FIFA? Is the fix-in? Was money pushed under the table? You have to wonder, how do you get the worst bid? And what's the point of making a bid? It seems like World Rugby already decided it's going to go to France. France has already hosted the World Cup. Ireland, it's time. Or South Africa again. But frankly, with what's going on in South Africa, it could be a disaster there too. Must be why the French bricked the parliament in. They were very arrogant. Yep. Come on, Chris. It's not fair. All the ladies on here are getting off a sexy French accent. Non, ouais, n'est-ce pas? Oh. Ça c'est très intéressant que les dames sont activées. Non, c'est pas le mot juste. Je ne suis pas. C'est peut-être autre mot, mais non, pas du tout. Make France call again. South Africa has rolling blackouts and a terrorist regime. The others don't. Well, California has rolling blackouts, as we just saw. The 50,000 blackouts this past year or something like that was what we saw in that report. It's crazy. Anyway, folks, there you go. So back to Cyril Ramaphosa. Back to him very quickly. See, I got 2 subscriptions out of all of that. Wow. Oh, cry for me, Argentina. Anyway, so back to this. They're shutting down beaches in the Eastern Cape and the Garden Route. Boom, done from the 16th of December to the 3rd of January, completely shut down. In KZN, beaches will be shut down on the major dates, including the 16th, which is Reconciliation Day or Day of the Vow. The 25th, Christmas, then we have Boxing Day, the 26th, New Year's Eve, the 31st. January 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, they'll be shut down. In the Northern Cape and Western Cape, the beaches will be open, but only from 9 to 6 p.m. They will not allow any gatherings. There's no change here. They're going to enforce level 1 lockdown. Apparently, they haven't been enforcing it for the last 11 days. Well, why is that? Why don't... Oh, wow. All right. Well, folks, you're not imagining things. My stream was disconnected as I was talking about the COVID measures that South African government is putting in place. I got disconnected in the stream. Yeah, that's happening more and more, folks. That's pretty disturbing. But I did get reconnected, so thanks for hanging around. We're still over 200 people here currently. But why no discussion about EFF, 5,000 people, 3,000, whatever the hell it was, showing up at Brockenfell? There were no social distancing there. You don't think that was a super spreader event? Instead, he wants to lay it on the rage parties and blame South Africans for this. Actually, you had your 2 weeks, or actually 3 weeks. You had 3 weeks, South Africa, to get your hospitals and your beds in order, and you didn't do it. And then you imposed more lockdown restrictions, and it didn't do anything. Now you've had 10 or 8, was it March? 9 months. Ramaphosa, Nkosazana, Dlamini-Zuma, Lamola, Bakachile, all you clowns, you've had months, and you're still not prepared. You're still not ready. Every measure you say you've taken, which has limited things, did nothing. Now you're telling us we can have a festive season in South Africa if we just do what you tell us to do. Go nowhere, see no one, do nothing. Your loved ones die, don't go to the funeral. You're not allowed to go to the funeral. Just sit at home, suck it up, Buttercup, and it'll all be better come January. Liar, 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 pants on fire. This is Cyril Ramaphosa. Pinocchio. People will just suffer. Devolve just subscribed. I thought Devolve was a subscriber. I'm confused. See, maybe he got unsubscribed. They will just suck the life out of you, destroy more businesses, more tourism industry over the course of the festive season, Christmas holidays, for those who are Christians. The festive season, what a bunch of nonsense that is. They'll destroy more jobs, put more people on the dole, more people will suffer, and to come January, you'll still have COVID. Get over it, folks. Here's a news flash. 99.8%. 99.8% of the people who contract this virus survive it with no ill effects by and large. Virtually no children get the virus. 85+% of the people who get the virus and die from it have underlying conditions. So the number of people who are healthy who get the virus and they die from it is infinitesimal. Probably likely lower than the number of people die in traffic accidents. 60 people are murdered every single day in South Africa. We don't see the South African government taking action against that. Commercial farmers and their families are raped, tortured, mutilated, brutalized, and murdered on farms every week in South Africa. Not even a priority crime. Innocent cash and transit drivers are executed by gangs, armed gangs in South Africa every week. Priority crime, no resolution. What I have to say is if you think the South African government can solve a problem, you're delusional. The South African government is very good at creating problems. Racist legislation like the Black Economic Empowerment Program, which discriminates against South Africans, all South Africans. If you think it only discriminates against white or minorities, you're kidding yourself. Broad-based black economic empowerment discriminates against all South Africans. It skews the marketplace, and it creates a patronage machine for the ruling party so it can dole out contracts to its friends and allies. Bottom line. That's the bottom line, folks. That is the bottom line. ANC creates far more problems than it ever even attempts to solve. Our government is crazy. What a joke. Pinocchio, watch your nose. You're killing your own race. They're losing their jobs and go hungry. At least you'll get a place in the Guinness book. Yeah, exactly. Exactly right, folks. Mary Duplessis, welcome to you. Not even enough to pay off UIF. Never mind the 300 Rand. Yeah, exactly. Going to be hard. I live in Caronville. Many people in the neighborhood WhatsApp praising Cyril. I give up with them. Are they delusional, Steve? Are they absolutely delusional? They're probably people of some sort of privilege, that they aren't suffering. They're not paying a price for this. They're not the ones whose kids have to eat grass in the Eastern Cape. They're not the ones whose jobs are gone, whose businesses they put 10, 20, 30 years of life into have evaporated into nothing. So yeah, they're exactly. They have no problem with it. They have no problem with it whatsoever. And this scenario playing out from the tyrannical African National Congress's fascist government is playing out around the world. Look what's happening in Hong Kong. Jimmy Lai is now being charged with violating this draconian, nonsensical, communist national security law, which has illegally been applied to Hong Kong. China doesn't have the authority to do that, and they applied that law and have been imprisoning people under it. And the world sits back and does nothing. The Falun Gong is locked up. The world sits back and do nothing. 1.1 million Uyghurs reportedly are locked up in concentration camps, labor camps in China, and their hair being shorn off their head and sold in the West as natural hair, as if it came from willing people selling it. No, it came from slaves in Chinese labor camps. The world is silent. Silent. Nothing being said, ladies and gentlemen. This is utter insanity. Utter insanity. How do we get to here? Where are the patriots? Where are the people with courage to stand up around the world, to stand up and fight this nonsense? This is a dangerous virus being used for political purposes to undermine freedom, liberty, and choice, and to implement totalitarian systems by global elites who are using it for their advantage, to our detriment. All of us, black, white, brown, Asian, it doesn't matter. It's all to our detriment. And people that can't see that are blind or they're complicit. That's the bottom line. Jody says, please be respectful and pronounce Rama Pinocchio correctly. Hi, Chris. Kekin Leista het here van Xenia. Well, hey, thanks, Lance Sharif. Thank you. Appreciate that. Good to see you in Xenia. Xenia, wow, man, Xenia had a massive tornado back in the day, back in the 70s, wiped out Xenia. It was bad. Mary says, the fact is minorities own much of the tourism industry who employ majority blacks. The ANC wants to destroy minority businesses by transforming. Exactly, Mary, that's what I'm talking about. I've been railing against the tourism relief boards or tourism relief funds racist policy, which they implemented, which prevented minority-owned businesses from getting COVID relief, money donated by private individuals and from the Solidarity Fund. They refused to let minorities get that money, and so they were taken to court. The North Gauteng High Court said that that was constitutional because it was in accord with broad-based black economic empowerment. But of course, broad-based black economic empowerment is unconstitutional. It is unconstitutional. It violates South Africa's constitution. It does not treat people fairly and equally. It's racist and it's bigoted against South Africans to the detriment of all South Africans, which is what you just said, Mary, and that's what I've been saying all along. Will the South African government even bother looking to see if they have any Chinese spies in our country? I doubt it. Nope. I don't think they will. Why would they want to do that? Get fit, read books, and get your affairs in order with God. Ooh, says Deval. Let's see what else. Ron is in from the Netherlands, and he's switching between Afrikaans and Dutch. I can never tell when he's writing. We vote away our freedom without a thought, not realizing that the only way we'll ever get our freedom back is through war. Oof, let's hope not. I'm self-employed. I had zero business income for 6 months. Olive, that sucks. That absolutely sucks. I'm really sorry to hear that. I started consultancy, which makes me self-employed, but I'm retired from the military. But I started consultancy, the Indaba Africa Group, and I laid on some very lucrative gigs, and I was excited to get into it. And that was in April and May, and then they all fell off the table. I lost everything from those gigs. Don't feel bad. It's not like I had some big capital investment laid. It was just my time that was laid into it, and I hadn't booked any tickets for the flights where I was supposed to go. But that was all disappeared because of this hysteria over COVID when they suckered the world into this earlier this year. Now, fortunately for me, Olive, it's kind of come back. I've done three or four consultancy gigs, which have brought in some money, which is helpful, which have been very helpful, but also helps me with my business, just keeping it going. So yeah, but they've all been remote. I haven't been able to do traditional consulting where you go somewhere and you consult and you offer advice and or you teach or you lecture or whatever it is. I've only been able to do it remotely. So if it's something that can be done remotely, I can still do it, and I'm still in demand, which is kind of cool. But I wasn't able to get out there and be wider seen in events and conferences that no longer exist, where I could have got my name out there in my business to get much more business. Kind of frustrating. But I empathize with you, Olive. That really sucks. That really sucks. So the expensive weaves sold here are from slaves. They could be, Olive. I don't know. It depends where you're at. But yeah, the Uyghurs, they shave their heads. And these are what multiple news agencies reported. This is not me making an accusation. I'm reporting from news. They've shaved the heads of Uyghurs who are put in concentration camps. As many as 1.1 million Uyghur Muslims. They shave the women's heads, and then they take the hair and they sell it as natural hair. Yeah, exactly. Rand Park, okay. What else we got here? Romana Morning Shot made a video and predict ANC wants to reset the tourism industry. Oh, no doubt about it. That's not a prediction. That's an inevitability, Flutsarko. That's inevitability. That is not a prediction. I don't think that's a prediction at all. Shaving of heads is to fight lice, perhaps. Well, perhaps devolve, but that doesn't give them a right to sell people's hair. That hair belongs to the people whom they took it off of. Either destroy it or you give it to the people you took it off of. Secession is looking more promising to me, but the DA should also join. The DA is not going to join the secession unless or until it's a de facto deal. If, in fact, it gets to that point, they'll do it. The DA told people that they would support a referendum on secession if they were voted back in office. They've yet to do it, folks. Yet to do it. Go check out the world poll. What world poll? What are you talking about there, Adrian Afram? And why isn't yours showing up here? Oh, there it is. For some reason, not showing up over here. That's odd. Anyway. No, it's not. Weaves from real hair is currently available. Well, world vaccine poll. Okay. Olive, I'm not sure what you're talking about. Real hair. I mean, real hair is hair cut off people's head. There are people that sell their hair around the world and make money off of that. But I'm talking about what the media was reported is that the Uyghurs have had their hair. I don't know who's buying the hair. I don't know the source of it. I'm not claiming. I'm just saying that's something the media's reported. DA are spineless, says Kyle. Sorry, I have a DA support all my life until this Rona showed their true colors. But what did you want them to do? I mean, I'm not defending the DA, but what did you want them to do during Rona? Selling is weird. Not sure if you would sell hair lice. Why can't the West just boycott China, make India their new major exporter? Within years, CCP would be dragged into power. Because India is not an effective economy. It has some major industrial enterprises, but India's economy is not there. It's growing now, but it's not there. It would be interesting. And besides, all of our industrial output has been outsourced to China now, and our jobs have been shipped over there to China and other parts of Asia. And so I just mentioned Boston Robotics here just the other day. An American company spawned out of Massachusetts Institute of Technology back in the 1990s, bought by Google in 2013. Google bought it, and then they sold it to a Japanese company, and now they're being bought by LG. So yeah, it's owned by the Japanese and Koreans. SoftBank bought it from Google. So Google sold us down the river by selling off this lucrative robotics company based in Massachusetts, paid for by tax dollars, funded by taxpayers who support the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, and it was a spinoff from the industrial effort. And so now it belongs to the Koreans and Japanese. That's just pathetic. This is what they do to us all the time. Ban made in China. They more than happy to have ANC in charge while they manage Western Cape. If they really wanted the rest of the country, they would have done much more. Well, on that one, I don't disagree, Kyle. I don't disagree at all. I think that they really screwed the pooch with Musi Maimani, and they really screwed the pooch in the 2019 election. They tried to be ANC light, which was feckless and stupid. They honestly think they were going to gain votes. They actually lost votes. They lost a percentage of the vote when they should have surged to over 30% easily in that election, given how unpopular the ANC was. And they failed to recruit people in massive numbers to support their party around the country. They sat on their laurels and didn't do anything effective. And if they argue they did, then they're just not very good at what they're supposed to be doing if they claim they did otherwise. Blah de da. That ANC is messing up. Charmaine Smith. I have no idea what that is. China played some dirty inside trading and basically collapsed our iron ore industry. Whose iron ore industry? Olive, I don't know where you're at. Are you in South Africa? Are you in Canada? Most influential people and companies leaving Silicon Valley for Texas, changing some things up. Yeah, no, boom shakalaka. I reported on that. I covered that a day or two ago. all these different companies that have been leaving California. The latest is Oracle. That's what really got my attention. Oracle is massive. Larry Ellison's massively successful database company. Oracle is a stalwart of Silicon Valley. I've been by their headquarters there many, many times, driven by it on my way to and from San Francisco. Yeah, no, it's pretty shocking. Pretty shocking to see Oracle leave California. Tesla and SpaceX leaving California. Hewlett-Packard Enterprises leaving California, all relocating to Texas. Yep. Saldana is now owned by China. Really? There's a school of thought emerging that President Trump could be the first president to do 3 terms in office while they drain the swamp. No, that's unlikely. First off, he wouldn't be the first president to do 3 terms. Franklin Roosevelt did 3 complete terms and started his 4th term, and then he died in office. So it wouldn't be the first one. That's constitutionally impossible. They put a constitutional amendment in to limit a president to 2 terms, 2 elected terms. So that's not going to happen. Yeah, so what else we got here? Has the ruling on the Dominion software been being reported to think it started with a weed case? Yeah, Vernon, I've talked about that earlier on the stream with Representative Dawn Kiefer, and I'll talk about it again here really quick. You must have missed that. Yeah, okay, so that's Antrim County in Michigan, is an upper part of the peninsula that Michigan's on. Not the upper peninsula, but Michigan's also, there's 2 peninsulas. There's the one upper peninsula, and then there's this main shaped like that, like a thumb. And so Antrim is located up in the northwestern part of Michigan, about here. And that was the case where there was a Dominion glitch the night of the election, in which 6,000 votes were erroneously given to Joe Biden that were actually Trump votes, and Trump actually won the county. But in part of the county, in one of the little towns, there was a vote for a marijuana referendum to allow one dispensary. Talk about a law written to benefit people. Talk about corrupt law. One dispensary. And of course, we already know if someone's applied for that license, that's why they want the law. So the vote was like 262 to 62, something like 262 to 262. They did a recount. 3 of the ballots were damaged. So 3 ballots were pulled out because they were soiled and they weren't counted. On the recount, the pro-weed referendum won by a single vote. Now, how do they win by a single vote when 3 votes were lost? You can't win by a single vote. That's impossible. So because of that, a plaintiff in the city, a resident, was angry that this law was now going to be a law and you can have weed sold there over something as fraudulent as that. So he filed suit. His attorney represented him. They asked for permission to look at the software, the thumb drives, and the equipment so they could do a forensic audit. The judge granted that, but he said that you cannot share the information until I've had a chance to review it. Well, that audit was completed, and the judge was approached, and the attorney said that we have information of national security importance as a result of this audit. May we now share it with the public? It is that important. We must share it. So the judge agreed to a hearing this morning, and that was at 8:30 this morning, Eastern Standard Time, and the judge granted permission to release that information. So I don't know if it's been released because I've been online pretty much all day since 6:20 this morning on my 3rd stream, so I don't know what's going on. Anyway, yeah, there you go. So waiting to see. Now, immediately, with immediate effect, the Michigan State Secretary of State's office came out and denied. So let me read that to you, folks. This was from, this is at 9:53 this morning, Eastern Standard Time. A Michigan judge decided Monday that supporters of Trump may publicly release and discuss information they've collected from an analysis of voting machines and data in Antrim County. Well, that's a lie from the Detroit News. It wasn't supporters of Trump. It was an independent person who had nothing to do with the Trump administration, or Trump campaign, who filed this lawsuit. Eric Grill, an assistant attorney general representing the Michigan Secretary of State, Jocelyn Benson, warned that the analysis is inaccurate, incomplete, and misleading. Now, how does he know that when he hasn't seen the data yet? Do you see the fraud already in place here? The state's attorney, Secretary of State, is already claiming that the information is inaccurate and misleading when they haven't even seen it. So how can they make that assertion? Just like Chris Krebs from the Cybersecurity Infrastructure Administration, CISA, which is part of the Department of Homeland Security, fraudulently claiming within hours of the election on November 3rd, this was the most secure election in U.S. history. No, you can't possibly say that. You don't have any purview over the 50 states, the paper ballots, all the stuff going on. If what he meant to say was that from a foreign intrusion standpoint, we believe this was the most secure electronic election in U.S. history, then there might be validity to it. But even that's questionable because you can't possibly have known that on election night or the next night or the next night. It would take 3 months after the election before you could do forensic audits to look at the data, look at the software, look at the systems to make a determination from a forensic standpoint that this was the most secure election. You are a fraud, Chris Krebs. The things you said were politically motivated and were insubordinate to the President of the United States, and you betrayed all of us as Americans. How can you make such a statement? That's utter nonsense. Do you think we're suckers? Do you think we know nothing about coding and about computers and about data networks and data storage and manipulation of data? Of course we know about it. Do you think only the wizards in Silicon Valley have ever built a computer, written software, written code? Good Lord, my friend, I was using IBM data punch cards in the 70s as a kid and loaded operating systems with cassette tapes and 5.25-inch floppies and 3.5-inch floppies and tape decks, reel-to-reel for loading operating systems. And you're going to sit here and try to tell me the most secure election just days after it? Give me a freaking break. You don't even have authority over all those systems. How could you possibly make that determination? You can't. Your statement was fraudulent and it was intentionally misleading. And you got fired for cause. And you should have been fired for cause you were insubordinate. Just like Michael Flynn should have been fired when he's director of Defense Intelligence Agency for contradicting the President of the United States. He was also insubordinate. They didn't fire him, but they got even with him. They got even with him by fraudulently using the U.S. intelligence system to spy on him and destroy his reputation. So anyway, yeah, no, insubordination is not acceptable. Just because you're unhappy with a policy, you cannot be insubordinate. Hendo's put up my Telegram group. There's a Chinese symbol here that says not Hal. I'm not really sure what that's all about. And it would be interesting to find out what the banks will do with all the repossessions they've done over the lockdown if millions of people cannot pay. Well, it depends, Info. I don't know who's done repossessions. In many jurisdictions, that's illegal, so I don't know what's going on. Thoughts on Sudan being taken off the terrorism list after 27 years. Boom shakalaka, that was another Trump success, foreign policy success, not being reported on by the media, ignored almost entirely. And when they report on it, they do it in a distorted fashion. Thoughts on that? Well, my thoughts on Trump were the following. What is going on here, man? So, wow, I'm just looking. Okay, there it is. Looking at the time. It's been 20 minutes since we were cut off. Yeah, so I'm not going to have a Night Owls stream tonight because we're on the Night Owls right now. We ran right into it. So, but let me just do this because we're coming up in 2 hours. So, thoughts on Sudan off the terrorist list. Well, Trump got concessions. Number one, this is contingent on Sudan establishing a $434 million compensation fund for the American victims of state-sponsored terrorism from Sudan. And also contingent on a couple other things. If, in fact, Sudan, Khartoum follows through with those things, then it's perfectly fine. And if they're not supporting they're not a state-sponsor of terrorism anymore, then it's fine. They should be taken off the list. It's long overdue if they take these steps. So we've got Morocco, Sudan, Bahrain, and the United Arab Emirates all recognizing Israel's right to exist and establishing diplomatic relations with them. Massive, massive, massive foreign policy successes for peace in the Middle East. Do you see the media talking about it? No. Mr. Vice President, would you have chocolate or vanilla ice cream? Was that a waffle cone or a sugar cone? Yeah. No. Instead of reporting on actual news and actual events, the corrupt media are reporting about Joe Biden's shoes falling over his puppy. Donald Trump contracts COVID-19, 74 years old, contracts COVID-19, right? 3 days later, he's kicked its ass. 5 days later, he's on the campaign trail. He does 15 campaign rallies, attracting as many as 57,000 people in a remote county in western Pennsylvania where not even 57,000 people hang out. 15 rallies in the last 3 days. Kicks COVID's ass. And Joe Biden breaks his foot playing with a puppy. Joe Biden breaks his foot playing with a puppy. My goodness. Anyway, InfoSwiss. I taught a Sudanese girl, very lovely lady, so much more than politics consider. Well, that's true, Rosalind Kaba. And people talk about black, you think there's no black people in South Africa. Not a single one. You guys aren't black. You're just a lighter shade of dark. You're darker pink. You're brown. Even the Zulu. Even you guys are not black. You want to see black? Go to Sudan. Those folks are black. There's some black folks in Sudan, man. There's some seriously black folks in Sudan. They are very black, very black. Ron says, while sniffing the poor puppy. Well, that's probably why he tripped over it. He had to bend over so far to sniff the puppy. Nevada just awarded to Trump and Mike Pence. What? What are you talking about, Hendo? What are you talking? I'm not going to go anywhere if that's the case. What? Nevada awarded to... hang on. Where are you hearing that from? Is that a QAnon thing? Come on, man. There's nothing here. Where are you hearing that at? Nevada. I got nothing here on that. Nothing on that. Where are you getting that, Hendo? Where's that coming from? Right Side Media is broadcasting. Okay, let me get to that. Let me get to Right Side Media. Thank you. YouTube. That must be an electoral college result, and they must have. If that's the case, then let's not get excited because maybe they're faithless investors, faithless electors. Let's get this right. All right. If they did that, then they might be faithless investors, and that's going to be a problem. Yeah. So they've cast their vote for Trump, which would mean that they can be replaced by the state. So let's get this up and see if I got it going.
Power of law enforcement behind us. We intend to give this evidence to the law enforcement, respective law enforcement. The evidence we have, but more importantly, we're going to put it on our website. The American people have to be able to see. If you live in Nevada or if you live in Texas, you have to be able to see the corruption that took place here in Nevada.
And for the people who are wondering what that website is so that all our viewers can go on there and see, could you share the website with us?
Sure, it's NevadaGOP.org. Nevada spelled out, GOP.org.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Appreciate your time. Thank you for your patriotism. It's greatly appreciated.
Thank you very much.
Well, folks, I guess that about wraps it up here. Is everything has been certified. Donald J. Trump has been declared the winner, and he's getting the 6 electoral votes, along with the Vice President Mike Pence, President Donald J. Trump, and Mike Pence winning the 6 electoral votes here in Nevada.
Wow.
Truly a historical moment. This is something that could not have been done. Our partners are super helpful in making all this happen and getting us out here. And a true patriot, just like all the folks who are out here. Mike Lindell, he makes this all possible. MyPillow, you can go to mypillow.com, use promo code RSBN, receive up to 66% off your entire order.
Okay, sorry.
When you shop online at mypillow.com.
We don't need to hear the my pillow thing. Seriously? Okay, okay. Let's not get excited here, folks. Let's not get excited here. Let's parse this out. I will do a stream tonight to talk. Oh, now we're doing all the Mike Lindell commercials. That's Right Side Broadcast. Let me turn that off, folks. Yeah. Oh, let's not get excited. When we come back to that, if they come back to it, my goodness, Nevada voted. What the hell? Why is UP not backing Trump in other states? Wow. Can I email a question to you, Chris? Retiring for the evening. Thanks for great. Yeah, you can, Olive. Please do. And are you a subscriber, Olive? You don't have to tell me that there, but please tell me in the email. Wow. Mr. Reagan was saying that if you may, Olive, send me an email. Please do. You'll find my email address on the About tab for your browser. Go there and look under About for the channel. You have to click on it. Just push the little button to show that you're not a robot, and then you can get the email address there. If you don't find it there, go to below the video. You'll find a description of my Twitter and Parler handle and send me a message on there. Anyway, here we go. We're back on this one. Let me get this back now, folks.
Investigative authority or any of those kinds of resources, but worse than that, we didn't even have a deadline. So when we went to court and we had judges looking at evidence and saying, gosh, there's just not enough here to prove. Well, what we found was our rights for due process were absolutely violated, because in 4 weeks, how are we supposed to actually get that kind of proof without any cooperation from our Attorney General, from our Secretary of State, from any of the election officials? So yeah, this is a broken system. And yeah, our president, he won Nevada, and we're here to fight for that.
Wow.
Of course, and the evidence of voter fraud is real. We have seen it in every single state. In the swing states, there's been overwhelming evidence. People on sworn testimony, sworn affidavits, under penalty of perjury, still telling the truth, and then the media coming out and saying there's no evidence, even the courts saying no evidence. So do you think the courts have let you down in the state of Nevada?
Yeah, I was supremely disappointed with the legal process. I mean, basically, due to the tight timeline for certification, it's almost like the burden would be way too high for us to overcome that. So yeah, we were let down. We did have the opportunity to present the evidence. I don't know if you guys covered this, but we had 20 books, 8,000 pages of evidence that we were submitting, and that's everything from eyewitnesses with the post office who were told and directed to leave their mail in undeliverable addresses or leave mail for people who are deceased. And according to one witness in one of our statements, 50% of those ballots that he left to places he knew no one lived. were picked back up. And that's just one example. We had easily 30 different witnesses in different categories. I know that with all the poll watchers who were dedicated, and I trained them and I helped deploy them for the campaign and for the party, these poor folks were absolutely denied the right to observe. We had one lady, a wonderful 79-year-old woman who's done this as her civic duty for 30 years, thanking people on the way out of voting, getting escorted off of the property to be kicked off by the police for saying thank you. And the problem was those rules for thee, but not for me. We had the other side, the other observers working in tandem with poll workers, taking video up and down the line, talking to voters about whatever, handing out food next to where you drop the ballot boxes, the whole nine, everything they could do to blur the lines and then some, and even break the law. And we have a 79-year-old woman who was escorted off property by police. It's disgraceful. And our elected officials absolutely know better. So when they feign any kind of outrage that this is not true or whatever, just know that they know in their hearts what they're doing is wrong. And so do the American people. So do people of Nevada.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it. Thank you for your patriotism. Well, folks, that was quite historic moment. I have to keep saying it because that's what it is. It's, I think, something that all of us will remember witnessing for the rest of our lives as the Nevada State GOP came here and they cast their electors who cast their ballots for President Donald J. Trump and Mike Pence. That's about all for us here. Me and Brian Glenn behind the camera. Brian, you have any final words for anyone? He has no final words. Well, thank you so much for coming to join us live on RSBN. We will continue to bring you live, uninterrupted coverage as much as we can. Until next time, goodbye and God bless.
Well, what exactly does that mean, folks? That's a tough question to answer because all these other states are following the election faithfully. I've noticed that, for instance, we see that Wisconsin has given the votes to Biden. Arizona gave the votes to Biden. I didn't see Pennsylvania results. I can't find that. I don't know what this means. And I don't know how does Nevada have a Republican legislature that they were able to do that? I mean, I don't, what the heck is going on here? The legislature's not the ones voting. It's the Electoral College voters. And what, will the Nevada courts overrule their electors? This is faithless electors. Yeah, in fact, they can be replaced according to a Supreme Court decision. You can replace faithless electors, and you can also punish them criminally. So I don't know what's going to happen here, folks. This is unprecedented. This is bizarre. This is unusual. This is something off the charts. And Nevada is the last place I expected this to happen. I expected it to happen maybe in Pennsylvania. But as we saw, Dawn Kiefer said earlier, the Pennsylvania legislature, she didn't say this, my words, they're being useless. They're not doing their damn job. The leadership in Pennsylvania is allowing the fraud to continue. Wow. Opens up challenge to other states based on this. Boom shakalaka. Yeah, if in fact it stands, this is crazy. But Joe Biden just needs to get 270, and losing Pennsylvania and losing Arizona, that's done. Trump is done. In Wisconsin, he had to get 2 of those 3 states. So unless another state that Biden got somehow votes for Trump, I don't know what's going to happen here. Wow. Reagan was saying that if the Durham report what Reagan he talking about? He was saying that if the Durham report comes out, it may just take 2/3 of the government due to overwhelming corruption. I don't know about that. Yeah, folks, I'm going to have to end my stream here shortly and then come back and do an evening stream and just to digest what's going on here. This is absolutely insane. I have to get a feel. Nevada showed more leadership than others. Absolutely, Vernon. Whether their leadership was legal, whether it's acceptable, whether it'll stand, those are all legitimate questions. But they certainly have put they've exposed their nads. They've showed themselves. They put them out there. Wow, I am going to have to digest this, folks. I was not expecting this. I am completely gobsmacked. I am gobsmacked to hear that the Nevada electors have given the votes to Donald Trump. Absolutely gobsmacked. And the margin in Nevada was larger than it was in Arizona. Arizona, we know that 1.9 million ballots were illegally counted in Maricopa County alone. That alone turns the election around. I'm getting not enough data being received by YouTube. Interesting that that's happening, folks. Gotta love it. Anyway, so very excited, says Dave Renke. I'm kind of excited now, too. I don't know what to say. I wasn't getting very excited about this day. I mean, we never pay attention to Electoral College votes coming in. Who cares? It's a done deal usually. But this is quite bizarre. What's going to happen next? Will Georgia follow suit? I don't even know if Georgia reported. I'm going to have to digest all this, folks. Wow. This is something else. I don't know what to say about this. This is crazy. I don't know if it'll stand. I don't know if it's legitimate. I don't know if the electors will be replaced. I don't know what's going on in Nevada, folks, but you've just seen Right Side Broadcasting reporting, as did the Washington Post, apparently, and CNN has reported that Nevada's electors, 6 electors for Electoral College, have gone to Donald Trump, despite the fact that the state certified the election results for Joe Biden. What the heck? This is unprecedented territory, folks. This is something completely different. What is going on here? Just absolutely crazy. I don't know what to say. Listen, folks, 161 people currently watching. Can we smash the like button? Push it up to 200, please. Can you do that? I'd really appreciate it. If you're not a subscriber to Chris White Africa, please subscribe. You'll find great content on here. Yes, I'm biased. It's my content. So, of course, I'm going to say it's good content. But trust me, it really is. Ask a friend, ask a family member who watches the channel, and they'll tell you it's good content. 173 likes, 163 people. I know that at least 30 or 40 of you have not pushed that like button, but you're watching the panel. There we go. There's 3 more. Let's try to get to 200 before it's all over, folks. America's crazy. This, Hendo, thanks for pointing that out. Thanks for watching that and sharing that with us. That's absolutely crazy. Acid Zill says the truth is coming out. Well, I hope the truth is coming out, folks, but I'm not going to hold my breath. Not going to hold my breath on this at all. This is insane, folks. Absolutely insane. By the way, just to let you know, we peaked at 420 viewers during this stream for Ramaphosa. That's awesome. And we dipped down to 152, and we're back up to 169. So thank you all so much for that. This is amazing. 182 likes. Come on. Don't make me salty cracking here. Likes don't cost anything, folks. Don't cost anything. Smash the like button. Come on. Make me ask for it. Make me for it. Here you go. You gonna make me pull the hat out? Are you going to make me pull the hat out? All right, folks. Here you go. There it is. Ooh, there you go. There you go. There you go. Keep America great. There you go. You want some more? You want some more? Come on. Let's get those likes up. 187. We're getting close. There you go. Woo. Trump in 2020. Keep America great. There you go. Woo. You're going to pull out all the stops. 190. We're getting there. We're getting there. Come on. Keep it going, folks. Keep it going. Look, Santa will make an appearance. Santa will even make an appearance for you if you can push the likes up to 200. 191. Come on. We're getting close. There you go. Ho, ho, ho. Merry Christmas. Thank you so much in the salty crack month of December. There you go. You want the camo one, Corlia? Okay, don't run off, folks. I'll be right back. We're trying to get 200. I'll pull out the other Donald Trump's. I might even play the Trump song. I'll get in trouble for that one. We're back, folks. We're back. We brought the hats. Here we go. Here we go. You ready for this? Here it is. There you go. There you go. Keep America great. That's right, folks. Ooh, there you go. There you go. Ooh, check it out. Check it out. Right there. Right there. That's right. American flag. And number 45, folks. Keep America great. But we're not done there, folks. We're not done there. There you go. It's a Trump train. All aboard. Woo, woo. And, of course, finally, the ever-present, always popular, Make America Great Again. And what is this? This is the Commander's Cap. There you go. Ooh, check out that eagle, man. Check that out. There you go. 193 likes. We're getting so close. 193 likes. You guys are making, I got to pee so bad. I got to go to the restroom so badly. You guys are making me sit here. Come on. Corlia wants this one. She loves it. Leanne Kleinhans, thank you so much. R. Overland. 2020, anything's possible, folks. It is. It's 2020. Anything is possible. Erica likes this cap too. That is a pretty cool. It's a pretty cool hat. Yeah, folks. Anyway, so there you go. What else we got here? 198. So close. Ron says 109. You probably need to refresh your stream there, Ron. Yeah, it's 100. 201. Success. Result. Ladies and gentlemen, the Springboks have won the 2019 Rugby World Cup. They are the William Webb Ellis Trophy champions yet again for a record 3rd time. Oh, sorry, I got excited. That was the wrong celebration. All right, you're right. 2020, anything is possible, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. This has been amazing. I'm going to have to go out and digest what's happening with Nevada. I'll do a stream tonight, even if it's a half hour or something like that, but I will do a stream tonight. Later tonight, it'll be middle of the night for South Africans, but I know some of you up anyway. Night shift, late stuff. You're not violating curfew, but you are online. You can do that. Folks, so I will be there, and I will come back with a stream tonight, and we'll digest. I'll maybe make a prepared video about this Nevada thing. This is just wacko bizarre, folks. Unbelievable what's going on here as the Electoral College meets today. I was never paying much attention to this event today because, to me, it's the first week of January when they decide. Now, they can reject Nevada's votes. The House and Senate can. So who knows? But this is not over by a long shot, folks. In South Africa, the train has been renamed to the Corona Snake. Well, in South Africa, Acid Zill, the train is derailed because it ran head on into another train. And there you have it. I got me a Trump hat from USA, says David. Cool. I got 4 Trump hats, and I'm going to get more before it's all over the way things are going. By the way, folks, I'm a guy that was not a big fan of Donald Trump, in case you didn't know that or you weren't aware of that. I thought he was a charlatan. I thought that he was going to sell us down the river, and he was just saying what he thought he needed to say to get elected president. Turns out I was wrong. Happily wrong about that, and I became an enthusiastic Trump voter, not just a voter, but enthusiastic Trump voter. And I wouldn't say I'm a Trump supporter, but I do support his foreign policy and a lot of his actions. So there you go. Thank you all for sticking with me all the way. We're up to 150. People are fading off now, but I'm going to take off. It is now nearly 10 o'clock in South Africa and in Namibia and in Botswana. And it is almost 3 p.m. here on the East Coast of the United States. Nevada, the state of Nevada, has given its electoral college elector votes, 6 of them, to Donald Trump, despite the fact that the state certified the election results in favor of Joe Biden. Breaking news, folks. Shocking, to say the least. Thank you, Hendo, for pointing that out. Crazy stuff. Donna says, win or lose, Trump is a great president. I think that's a fair statement to make, especially given all the treason and the seditious behavior that's gone on around him the whole time. People undermining his presidency. Also thought he was a joke, but no more. Yeah, David, I'm with you on that one. Thanks for an awesome stream. I'll be on later once you're done your research. Thanks for all the Gary info as usual. You're welcome, Boom Shakalaka. And thank you all for coming back to the channel. Some of you haven't been here in a while. And some of you are new, so welcome to the new folks. We appreciate you coming to the channel. Subscribe. It's free. Anyway, thanks a lot, folks. That's it. I'm going to end it right here to about 150 currently watching. Thank you so much for following this channel today. It's been epic. I've really enjoyed your presence here. I hope you enjoyed the Ramaphosa, not his speech, but my comments during his comments. And that's it. We'll be back for a short stream later tonight after we sort out this Nevada thing, but that'll be late. Wisconsin Supreme Court ruled that coronavirus something. Anyway. Andrea von Aiden says, good night. Thanks. I'm glad you enjoyed the stream. Thanks a lot, folks. God bless. Merry Christmas to everybody. Merry Christmas to you all. Try to enjoy your festive season as best you can, despite the tyrannical behavior of the African National Congress in South Africa and here in Pennsylvania, Tom Wolf. That's it, folks. Catch you later on. Thank you for your support for the channel. God bless. And I'm out of here. Well, what's that? I left it up again. Got to stop doing that. That's not it. Where is it at? That's not it. Whoa, what's going on there? Put it back. That is not supposed to be on the screen. Okay. There we go. Got it. All right, folks. All right. So there we go. Now we're off the screen. I love it.